This is nice.
This is nice.
This is nice. I know we're both miffed for different reasons, but this is nice.
Both miffed. Alright, hang on. I'm gonna do a test. Just make sure it goes through. Bam. Up there.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Test.
All right.
Hello, people of the
internet.
Hello.
Hello. None of you who are here.
There's one. There's one here.
There's one. Who?
SMV.
Oh, SMV4, you say hello.
Yeah, here. I'll put it on this side so you can actually see it.
Yeah, that would help. Thank you.
Does that help?
It does help a lot.
Okay.
It is time for another Sunday, another craft check. Relaxing Thanksgiving weekend. I say that as we've finally beaten back food poisoning.
Actually, I have to turn off subscriber mode.
Oh. That would help.
Bam! It's not in subscriber mode, so I don't know why nobody's there. Hello, everybody.
Hello, SMV4 USA, who is now gone.
Is he?
Yes, this is viewer count 0. Oh, well. Sam?
I think he's there. I'm pretty sure he's there.
That's alright, if he is or he isn't. Because we're still here together. We're still chatting.
See, now it says 2.
Can you grab me my mat? So, what are you building today, Sam?
I'm finishing up the Sidebuster.
Yes, I'm going to try a Wandering Sage. I'm going to try and finish my full armor Unicorn Gundam, which I've been working on now for literally the last fucking year. I've realized. In the process of building this poor fucking thing. Alright.
I realized I should get my mat.
You should.
Good idea.
That would not hurt. How is everyone on this lovely, lazy Thanksgiving Sunday, if you are Canadian, if not, Sunday? I am a little sleepy, but that's okay. Where the hell did I leave off? Oh, I built the missile launchers. So many fucking screws in this thing. So please, as always, this is Craft Check. Ask us your questions. We will tell you elaborate lies and falsehoods about ourselves. Sorry, something cut out. It's okay. So please, as always, join us, talk with us, chat with us, tell us the news, tell us to comment on things, and we will expressly comment on it, probably in a way that's stupid and horribly inaccurate. Hey, Jack! How's it going? Tell me you like the fucking Cyberpunk game, why not?
I'm a little miffed.
Oh my god. I'm miffed. And mine involved money. My favorite part of the vampire game was Tony asked Vampire Ned Flanders how he could be a Christian and vampire, because to me it seemed like it was more morbid curiosity than being an ass. Hello, my favorite people on the internet. Hello, Quita Toli.
Do you ever miffed about 2 different things?
Hello, got dread yet? Ha! Let's talk about that, shall we? Let's talk about me and Metroid Dread. The Cyberpunk game was very good, interesting twist at the end. Thank you. That's the kind of validation that I need. A mild, yeah, it was cool and interesting. That's the thing that keeps my self-esteem demons at bay. So let me talk about Metroid Dread. So I go into EB Friday morning, I get there early. And I say to myself, I've gotten here at 9 in the morning like a sane fucking human being. I should get a copy of Metroid Dread Collector's Edition, because my fucking EB does not have pre-order. Ever looking at Cyber Generation, the sequel? I know of it, I know its themes, I haven't read the rules for it yet. So, Sculpta, should I take it? Oh wait. However, I forgot that I was dealing with gamers with no fucking lives, and I'm over 30. So there's already 4 motherfuckers in line, and sure enough, there's 2 copies of Metroid Dread. The odds were not in my favor. Now, while I'm in lineup, I go on Amazon, and I say to myself, oh, look, there it is. And it is there, and I purchase it. And my package comes, I order it Friday, comes Saturday. Sam, would you get, please, what I got from Amazon? Would you grab that for me? Would you grab that for me, my love? I know, I'm saying it for emphasis, not that you're not complying. This is what I got in the mail! 60 poop bags. Amazon refunded me that day. God bless them. But now Amazon is out of collector's editions of Metroid Dread. So if anyone wants 60 dog shit bags Yo, I just became an unholy abomination before the eyes of God and man. Don't give me the right to know what shit someone believes. My Tony didn't raise no bigot. Oh. Yeah, ma.
Yeah, ma.
Ma, this is dumb fucking raise. I don't give no fuck what you are. I'm fucking...
Do you have the...
The what?
Oh, I have it. It's over here.
The what?
Keyboard.
Oh, yes.
So I can turn it over. I'm gonna push it over to number 2 so
That's
that
a
way
good
we
call.
can actually see things. So yeah, so Mike got a bag of...
I am miffed.
To say the least.
So I have a line on a new one for a collector's edition. My pre-order is still at EB, and it should still be there. What a dreadful time you've had. Thanks, Otaku Cat. It's the kind of pun that carries me through the day. But yeah, it's been a
long day!
So thankfully, a friend of mine emailed me, Facebook messaged me this morning. It's like, hey Mike, did that actually fucking happen? Yes, it fucking did. Cool. I actually might have a copy for you. Let me see what happens. So, the odds might be in my favor that I'll get a copy.
The odds never be in your favor.
Also, Tony has a big, you insulted Ma, they ain't gonna find your body energy, and I respect that. Yo, you insulted the boss. I'm not gonna fuck lurk. This is Traveling Fae. Wow. So, I am miffed. Although I've heard that unfortunately it's just as hard, if not harder, than Metroid, the Metroid remake that these guys did, which is what I was hoping wouldn't happen. So, you know. The little things.
The little things?
It's the little things.
I love you.
So. Alright. So I built missile launchers.
Mm-hmm.
And I've built a thing with sharp pits. Ore Sanjo. Hey, Geki. There's a report of murder, death, kill. Mike, know anything about that? I didn't do it.
It wasn't me.
Wasn't me? I didn't do nothing. Been a while since I checked out our stream, been busy. Well, it's good to have you back. Alright. Those are all the weapons I have built up to now. They're all very nice. I'm going to continue by building what is labeled affectionately in the manual as a box up here. As a grenade launcher, children. Kids, do you know what a grenade launcher is? That's a notification sound. Let me get my hobby knife out, too. Anything happening in Tabletop at the moment? Any new systems or settings? No, Tabletop News is mostly losing its goddamn mind about the fact that Critical Role is the highest earning channel on Twitch, and I couldn't care less.
Okay, I actually have to answer this one.
A text? Oh.
It's from Vanessa.
Apart from that, the last biggest actual Tabletop news is the Avatar Kickstarter setting tabletop records, which is good for them. As they are doing a Powered by the Apocalypse system, I believe, which I don't know why it required a dev team that big, because it's Powered by the Apocalypse. So how are you two lovebirds doing today? Well, I'm miffed, and Sam is also miffed. Oh, right, apparently Wizards of the Coast is playing something big in 2024. That's a thing that's happening. Yeah, wasn't that supposed to be their new edition? Which is in time for the 50th anniversary, which is going to be like a 5.5 or something? That was how I understood that news, but everyone is constantly speculating, and no one actually seems to have any answers, and the people who do are going, I don't know, shrug. And I don't care. I don't care. D&D is going to do well in spite of anything, and I do not care about D&D news. I'm happy for D&D fans, but it's the tonal, the order of magnitudinal difference between D&D news. And also my brother's trying to put together a group for 5e game with coworkers. Said I might need a player to fill in. I'm building Warforged Monk. Guess what I'm going for? Warforged Monk. Here's the biggest RP channel. No, CR is the biggest Twitch channel, period. Their net profit is $9 million, and they beat out everybody. I wonder what would happen if Avengers Helicarrier... So Mike, Sam, what are you guys building? Question. What would happen if Avengers Helicarrier appeared in the world of Cyberpunk? Would they try to fight crime or just overthrow the corpos? The Avengers Helicarrier, knowing them, they'd be like, we gotta get the hell back. Yeah.
Yeah. Just wanted to, you know, that's an important thing.
Conversation between us. I'm making a Warforged Monkish Showa era rider. That's it. Okay.
Where did I put
Because I was trying to think about it. It took me a second, Geki. I'm sorry. I'm being asked like 4 different questions at a time. So, but yeah, Critical Role is with the Twitch leak is now revealed to be the highest grossing Twitch channel on Twitch. Period. End of sentence. I mean, there are worse people that could be Twitch number 1. I know. Okay,
I want to just double check a thing.
FA1 and 2. It's this one.
Ah, okay, they are there. Ah, bluish.
Oh, is Blue here?
Yeah, I just
Blue.
didn't.
Missed the message. Also, the question was, what are we building today? I am continuing to build my Real Grey Unicorn Gundam. Sam, what are you building?
I'm building the Cybuster.
Yes. I know, but everyone's losing their mind about this, apparently, and... I say my mic, lol. So that's the big controversy, and I don't care. I do not care. Double levels. Alright. Final Fantasy 14 is fun and addicting, but man, my sleep schedule is fucked. Yeah, I've become addicted to Yakuza 7. Also, I've started a new Cyberpunk Red campaign with a bunch of friends. And I like the system.
Pants gang!
Because it's easier than normal Cyberpunk. But I can tell why, like, long-term fans prefer 2020. And that's justifiable. It would be like... Because I can honestly see myself, if we ever get the rules for Cyberpunk Red down really, really hard, switching to 2020 for all the integrated stuff. So something interesting happened last night during me and my friend's D&D game. So I watched Rise of Skywalker for the second time last week after finally purchasing it for myself. I found myself enjoying it more than I did the first time in theaters. So I got to wondering, what am I missing? I don't know, Ian Loon, what are you missing? Interesting timing because they just released a trailer for their animated Vox Machina show on Amazon. Yeah. Like I said, I don't... Why did I enjoy the sequels whereas many others didn't? Am I seeing something that many others didn't? Am I wrong to enjoy it? Not wrong enjoying something that's subjective. Here's the thing. I like all 3 of the Star Wars sequels. And please chip in, Sam. I know you're... Or are you just focused?
I'm just focused.
Okay. I didn't want to feel like I was talking over you. Or to be talking over you. It seems to me that sometimes my brother, who does not like Star Wars, right? Some Star Wars fans will just hate Star Wars regardless of what the filmmakers do. I rolled 4 nat 20s in a row. Good job. Thoughts on Star Wars? Okay, well... My thoughts on Star Wars are... Well, I've said it many times on this channel. My thoughts on Star Wars, and I'm happy to say it again. I do not feel comfortable filing this piece down. Let's see if I can just flip it gently. That came out nice, actually. There's this sort of thing of... I don't care anymore about Star Wars controversy. I don't care if something lives up to its past, right? Because here's the thing. Looking back on the Star Wars stuff that I've loved, I think our perspective on Star Wars is kind of fucked as a whole.
May I have
What?
the...
Take it. You want because rather than everyone says, "Oh, this isn't Star Wars, this is Star Wars." Isn't it nice that we all have an aspect of Star Wars that appeals to us? Right? And I get that's marketing and shit like that, and there's a certain level of, if you keep throwing some shit at the wall, eventually something will hit you. But it's like, rather than all of us being happy that there's an aspect of the Star Wars product that can appeal to anyone regardless of our background, it's instead this thing of, oh, it's not my Star Wars. Who gives a shit? I'm happy. I have The Mandalorian. Right? I love The Mandalorian. I don't care if the movies don't 100% agree with me. In terms of the new films, there's parts I like and there's parts I don't like. Because, like, Last Jedi, its entire cinematography is gorgeous. I'm more Star Trek than Star Wars, to be honest. That's also fair. Having fun with Picard, because literally the only thing I know about Picard is that the new trailer came out, And one of my coworkers said to me, "It sucks, Mike. Don't look at it. You will be miserable." They could have done more with Rey, Finn, and Ben. They didn't need to kill off Luke. Could have done more, etc. I'm okay with Luke dying. The problem is it doesn't feel like Luke, the way the film is structured, it doesn't feel like Luke has had a long career between episode 6 and episode 7, right? As a hero. And, like, if you knew that Luke had been, for the last 30 years, been the hero of so many military campaigns, he'd helped propel the Empire, and all this, I don't feel that the film accurately sets up that Luke is this long and storied hero who is worshipped and loved. I prefer TNG, actually. I prefer Deep Space Nine, but TNG is also a very good show. Right. That's my take on that. Which is why everyone gets upset that he's dead, because it's now the new canon. And what has Luke been doing in all this time? He failed at the Jedi Temple, and at least from an initial, what you immediately see, right, barring any deeper analysis, that Luke made a Jedi Temple, it failed, and then he died. Right? It's not like Luke has done all these little great things to help people. Which I think is where a lot of people got upset about that. That's my opinion. But I think Last Jedi is beautifully shot. I don't like a lot of the characterization. I'm really sad that the one lady got abused as much as she did online, and for being abused, she got shelved. Heyo, Rusty. She got shelved in the subsequent film. That's not deserved. I'm mad. No, you know what I'm mad about in those films? Finn and Poe didn't kiss.
Yeah, that's
bullshit.
That's a borderline crime.
That's bullshit. Those two were in love. God damn it. Star Trek is one of those franchises that I've sadly never been able to get into. Tried multiple times, it's never really clicked with me. Whatever. You're not hating on it, so you're ahead of the fucking curve, apparently. But, yeah, that's the only thing I'm mad about. I would have liked it if Ben had lived, because I like Ben Solo's entire characterization. I feel that fits the actor more. It's not a borderline crime, it is a crime. Yeah, I'm mad Finn and Poe didn't kiss. That's the only thing I'm legitimately mad about from those films. That's it. Everything else, and there's things I wish Luke had done instead in Last Jedi. I kind of wish, oh, Mike, are you putting money on HasLab? Yes, I am, Queen Atoli. I have put my pre-order down for the HasLab Victory Saber. Hopefully it's not too complicated to transform, like the Rodimus that I just got Sam yesterday.
I like the Rodimus, though. It is a very good Rodimus.
Yeah, it is a complicated motherfucker.
It's a complicated motherfucker.
But yes, I have put down money on that. I will be getting it. So that's it for Transformers purchases for me, for myself, for a while.
For a little bit. Until after the wedding.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my take on it. Like, I don't hate Rey like everyone else does, right? And I know people are like, oh, Rey failed upward. Luke failed upward, right? Like, Rey is all of Luke's... They're trying to do the same thing with Rey they did with Luke, right? And I don't know why it doesn't click as much. I couldn't specifically... Is the Transformers Ghostbuster crossover any good? Are you referring to the toy or the comic? Life is kind of failing up. It's kind of failing upward too. But yeah, like I don't hate Rey like everyone does. My disappointment with Rey and her story, especially with between Last Jedi and let me rewind on this one. So I think my Wi-Fi card may have fried. Oh, I'm sorry, Kiki. So let me rewind on Rey. And you have to look at all three films to look at where the mistake happened. Because there's this huge thing of what was wrong with Rey. And I don't think it's some huge thing. The comic is amazing. Fair enough. I don't think it's one big thing. I think her backstory was a bunch of things. Rey was set up from the beginning to be important, to which the audience immediately responded with, why are they important? Rey's WCW Goldberg. Wasn't going to go there, but okay. I am the weirdo that never really cared about Luke. My favorite moments in O Trilogy was the Battle of Endor Space and Yavin 4 and Hoth in that order. So I'm giving me Rogue One, Solo, and Poe Dameron made me very happy. But the way Star Wars has worked for a lot of its stuff is this idea of legacy. That some things balance another thing, balance another thing, balance another thing, right? And I was talking about this on Twitter, where it was, according to Lucas, and we can argue for good or for bad whether or not Lucas doing this was the smart choice, or whether he crippled himself, but by the nature of the fact that Lucas dictated what was happening in 6 of these films, therefore the way the universe works that way, is that there is light and dark to the Force, and they balance out each other by being extremes. So if you create great darkness, you create great light, and vice versa.
I just wanted to make sure that we were
Not going dark.
That is officially as close to hearing it as I have heard. So that's why, and it makes the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy make more sense. Because so it's why Palpatine doesn't try to kill Vader, well, kill Anakin. He instead tries to turn him. And why the Jedi Order falls and why Palpatine is that strong. The Force is balancing the two of them. Balancing them. So them giving me wrong so for them. Oh, that's just Ian Lynn's last message. It's why Padme had twins. There were 2 Sith. There will be 2 Jedi to counter it. Now, to me, it seems like the same build-up tragedy keeps happening in each movie. From a fan standpoint, it seems like it can't come up with anything different. True, and they built that up numerous times in like all of the expanded universe shit too, right? So you have Force Awakens, which is setting up that same thing again of the tragedy of someone becoming a Sith and a Jedi rising to fight them. And then you have, and it's quite clear that Abrams is. It was kind of really investigating the idea that Rey was just a nobody, was gifted at first. Kind of got my hopes that they were going to use Rey to break that annoying bloodline cycle Force. I'll address that. The thing is, in the first film, because Rey's feeding into this cycle that we have 6 films building in, it implies that she has a part of it rather than being a stranger. Rey doesn't appear in her initial film as a disruptive force. She appears as someone who wants to buy into it, right? And in the course of the first film, and there's. In theory, in the notes, there is an interesting story of how Rey goes from being someone who worships the idea of being a Star Wars knight to someone who is openly ready to disrupt the pattern. If you look at her in the bullet points. I think the reason why I fell for the sequels is because that they came out at a time when I could go to the theater and enjoy it for myself. Fair. The problem is the story of Rey is more than the bullet points. It's how it's cinematographically presented, how she's acted, and all of that. And it's openly been revealed they did not have a plan for her as they were shooting the films, or beforehand, which was a mistake, because they could have built up to it, and that they could have had a series Bible to build off of that. And that's been kind of revealed to be where the mistake was. I was kind of a myth that the Jedi never used the Force push against human opponents. Palpatine's like a 960 thing comes to mind. Well, it's like, the Jedi never use the Force. The Jedi just don't use the Force in general against what they consider to be living things, unless it's an attack thing. They use it for defense, right? That's their entire aesthetic. Well, I can spend my own money. I can spend my own money. Also, if this Rey tangent is annoying, let me know. This is just the conclusion I've come to by looking at it myself. Rey being... But she's... And then you have Last Jedi where Rey is that disruptive force. And she comes from nowhere. And I remember leaving the theater saying that doesn't make sense. That for some reason, the story that I'd been presented in the first film in no way alluded to that being the case. I do not mind Rey being Palpatine's daughter from a conceptual standpoint. Because it says... Granddaughter. Because it says, to me, that one's origins do not determine who they are, but fundamentally what they do with their legacy.
It also says that Palpatine actually had a backup plan.
Yeah. Right. Also that he just fucked. Although that's not true. Apparently it was clones.
Who cares?
I say he fucked. That makes more sense to me. That Palpatine had a wife and was a successful politician. My biggest problem with the Disney trilogy is that all the characters played by people of color all get shafted in one way or another. Also true. Because Finn was supposed to be a Jedi.
Very clearly
was supposed to be a Jedi, which would have helped the from nowhere thing, right? Mm-hmm. But there's no point where... Here's the thing. There's no point where Kylo Ren gets mad that these people from nowhere are taking him down in the Force, right? Like, that's never... I never saw that set up properly to my satisfaction as a casual viewer. Where it was just, what do you mean? They're nobody. You're nobody. He's nobody. Why are these nobodies in my way? I've been trained. And it's just the Force balances itself. I thought Rey was Luke's daughter. Sorry, didn't see the last 2 movies. No, she's not Luke's daughter. She is Palpatine's granddaughter.
That's the big reveal.
That's the big reveal. That's the truth. And it would have been great if she had met Palpatine in the final movie and said, "Have you just been doing this for the last 90 fucking years? What is wrong with you?" And walked away from him and let him die of old goddamn age.
Well, you know, Palpatine had to be the
bad guy again. Can we move on Star Wars talks and talk about something else? I'm finishing my point, Queen Holy. Like I was asked. And that's my take on it. That's my opinion. But the problem is, any kind of analysis of Star Wars is obscured by the fact that we have of the realities of a production that clearly didn't have a plan. And any kind of analysis of the characters. I actually wouldn't mind a movie on the Sith cult. Really, my only problem with Rey, other than the movies crapped on her most of the time, was that she lost the staff which she was training for on a lightsaber. Also true. Both of you, what was your most hilarious thing that happened to you in a TT game that resulted from RP or dice rolls? Oh god, here we go. Go ahead, Sam. I don't realize that Vader cast Palpatine down to the bottom of hell. Yeah.
Wait, hang on. What's the most hilarious thing that happened to you in a tabletop game that resulted from RP or dice rolls? Hilarious.
I know what you're going to talk about.
Which one? Oh, fucking Pellegrino?
Yeah. I actually was going to talk about you. The most hilarious thing was when God showed up.
That's not hilarious. That was fucking fantastic. All right. So, okay, there's two.
It happened to me.
There's 2 stories. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard the Pellegrino story because Mike has talked about it so much.
Yeah.
And Byron's talked about it so much. The Pellegrino story is basically from the one-shot-ish campaign that I ran with Mike, Byron, and Tom from Calgary, who you all know as Serial Killer Tom. Basically what happened was they were all... this was the premise. They were all villains who were being rehabilitated by... having them go into this program where they have to go and do hero things, right?
We were all looking to be rehabilitated too.
Basically, because they were all serial telegrams, fun. Okay, so the idea is that they were all being rehabilitated to become good people, right? Because they were all supervillains. They all had superpowers, right? The idea was at one point, one of their missions was they were going to go up onto a plane because some dignitaries.
Yeah.
Diplomats got pinched, and they were like, okay, we got to go save them. So they airdropped in, and Byron jumped in the front. Byron is one of those like sharpshooter guys,
turned telepath,
Deadshot. That's his name, Deadshot, right?
Yeah. Well,
the villain I'm thinking of is
Bullseye.
Bullseye. Thank you. The villain I'm thinking of is Bullseye. So he's kind of like Bullseye, who ends up turning into a telepath. But anyway, he hasn't gotten his telepath power yet. Mike,
is a common writer.
Is Kuga.
Yeah. I'm just Kuga.
And Tom was a speedster whose entire powers got powered by cocaine. His name was Jimmy Kozinski.
He's still happy that he got to play that.
He's so happy that we got to play that game. Anyway, so what happened was in this thing, they airdrop in. Byron goes into the front and gets the pilots, because the pilots were. The real pilots were kidnapped and knocked out, so the fake pilots were the ones. So anyway, Byron gets the pilots. 22. Tom and Mike come in through the back, so that way they can try and save the dignitaries, right? And the big bad goes, all right, if you can't get someone else to do it, you might as well do it yourself. So he takes off his shirt. He shows how muscly ripped he is. Byron, in the meanwhile, has already taken care of the pilots in the front, and he's been sipping on a Pellegrino. So he just whips the Pellegrino can at my big bad. He doesn't even get his fucking speech yet. I had a whole speech for him, right? He crits, and I crit fail, and I'm so mad.
And he's just down. Trying to think I don't know if there's a most. I can tell you what happened recently. So, a couple weeks ago, this piece of powered by Coke, you probably love Snowflake. Snowflake. Oh, right, the Clone Orgy game. Yeah, that one. So, a couple weeks ago, one of my players for my Cyberpunk game was missing. I'm like, you guys want to just have a blow-off game? And the rest of my...
Exalted.
Sorry, Exalted, yeah. And they're like, yeah, what do you got in mind? I'm like, let's just grab the Cyberpunk Red one-shot characters and just do a game. What follows? What follows is the single weirdest fucking game. Not the weirdest, but it was up there for games I've run. So, here's the opening premise. You got a rocker boy solo, a net runner.
I didn't finish my thing.
Sorry.
Basically, what happened was at the end of my thing, that villain became reoccurring, and every time they just decided not to call him by his real name. They just said, "No, you're now Pellegrino Man."
We beat him with Pellegrinos.
And every time you guys beat him with Pellegrino, and I was like, "Fucking." So anyway, back to your thing, Pants Gang.
Yeah. So they're on a nomad transport. And sorry, the fourth one wasn't Byron playing a nomad, and the nomad. Did they walk into a bar? No. Pants Gang. Here, survive New York Comic Con. Good job, Rob Hagen. So, they're on a nomad transport. There's a satchel charge on the road. Sorry, I just warped in. I had some thoughts to consider.
Okay, Tip.
Were they forced to join Kim Kaphwan Dojo to be rehabilitated? So, satchel charge on the road, blows out the wheels in the car. Tip rolls the car. They all go flying. The driver's dead. And when introducing magic like Cyberpunk work, like a Cyberpunk world, not just turning into Shadowrun, you're just making Shadowrun at that point. There's no point. Cyberpunk is basically looking at Cyberpunk and the themes of it. Adding tech to that is really magic is really needless. But for D20 Live, we're just doing it because it's the thing, right? After playing 2077, I'm curious to check out the actual RPG, so I may look into getting a copy. Red is very good if you're new to it. If you want something harder, do 2020 and more complex. Anyway, back to the story. So there's a bunch of solos who picked them up, and a dude who I needed a corpo, a corporate agent. If you're not familiar with Cyberpunk, is an actual role in it, who was going to be there to steal what they were trying to transport. So, the guy comes up, and I use the picture of Ellis from Die Hard. Because no one likes Ellis from Die Hard, but Ellis is a perfect metaphor for the corpo to me in Cyberpunk. So he's doing his thing, he's sniffing, he's like, he's doing the Ellis thing. And as he's walking past the solo with his robot arm rips the pants off of Ellis. This is important.
Solo's my brother, by the way.
Solo's played by Sam's brother. So, Ellis goes, he gets the item that they were transporting. Gotta say, I really love the Fast and the Furious family meme. Walks around them, takes the item, and he leaves them in the desert to die. So happy I've started with 2020, then again, I don't have much of a choice in 2004. So, it turns out that in the pants that they stole, because they've made the rules, you should reward that, they find...
a key of Coke.
A key of Coke, a pair of keys for a car, and a ticket stub for a parking garage.
I'm just realizing right now that...
Congrats, we've received 100 messages today. Thank you, Restream Chat. Thank you, Restream Chat.
I've realized that right now we've just had two campaigns that had cocaine in it.
Yeah. It's a hell of a drug.
So just saying, if there's cocaine in your plot, it'll be a good time.
Yeah. So they're like, okay. So the group says, did anyone get my King of Fighters joke? I must have missed it, Otaku Cat. I'm sorry. Oh, was that a King of Fighters joke? I'm sorry. Anyway, going back to the story. They go to say, well, we're going to steal Ellis's car.
Because fuck that man.
And fuck that guy. I'm like, but you know the name of the ganger who thing. You know his gang signs. You could probably find the ganger. No, we're going to steal Ellis's car.
We're going to go for his car first.
They steal Ellis's car and they find Ellis's panic bug-out bag.
Also, 3 more keys of Coke.
Which is 2 more keys of cocaine. And a hotel room key. So now they have this hotel room. They take the 3 keys of Coke. And they say, Mike, how much is cocaine worth? It's actually synth Coke. But how much is it worth in Cyberpunk? I did not have my red book handy. I had my 2020 book handy. So I go to my 2020 book. Long story short, they're fucking rich because the 2020 book has how much one shot of synth coke costs, not a whole key. So I had to Google search how many sniffs are in a key of cocaine. Now I'm on an FBI watch list. So, you know, that's my life. So they have now thousands of fucking dollars in synth coke. That reminds me, I need to get back to playing 27.7 at some point. Might just start from scratch after the next update instead of continue where I left off. Really? Yeah. They now have like what? We had like $70,000.
Yeah, we had $70,000
between the keys of cocaine.
Worth of cocaine.
In Eurobucks. So they immediately go weapons shopping. Oh dear, yeah, it's watch list time. Yeah. Oh, you mean on the watch list? No, but you know, I joke. So they. Oh, is he done?
Not yet. Very close though.
So you've gotten way more done today than I have.
I had half of mine done already. More than half of mine done. Realized that I forgot to put in the thing, so.
So they go shopping, and of course, like all Cyberpunk players, they don't start stealth. They start buying fucking rocket launchers, because rocket launchers do 5d6 damage. I'm like, guys, you walk down the street with 5d6 damage rocket launchers. Like, we're in cars. No one will notice. Go to the bar. The rocker boy says, I'm going to tell the bouncer that I'm going to suck him off if he lets us get in with the rocket launchers. And they fucking do it, and they critical. So now they have rocket launchers in a bar. They manage to bluff and deal their way with the gangers to find out where Ellis is. So now they're rolling up on Ellis's building with the rocket launchers, and I tell them they're not allowed to affix bayonets to the rocket launchers, because that would be stupid.
But it's our...
Oh, the emotional support rocket launch you tweeted about? Yeah. That was their argument. It was their emotional support rocket launchers. And they succeeded the role.
It's our emotional support rocket launchers.
Monsters. Anyway. So, they hunt down Ellis. He's in the building with 3 other corpos. They say, you know, there's a huge window right behind him. We could just keep throwing them out the window, and they do. And they just keep hucking these guys out the window. They shoot Ellis, like, I think you guys shot him in the dick.
We did. Probably.
And in the face a lot before you threw him out the window.
Well, yeah. Nauticus had a kid in Cyberpunk. Pants gang, pants gang, pants gang.
And to commemorate the fact that this was all achieved by stealing Ellis's pants, they christened them. They put Ellis's pants back on his head before they threw him out the window, and they have since called themselves the Pants Gang.
Pants gang.
So I'm scared to go back to an adventure with these nincompoops.
Nincompoops.
That's my story. But now they're all very addicted to Cyberpunk. My Rocker Boy player is basically just like, I need to get back in there, Mike.
It's bluish.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other story that I have, Mike, you're not the first person I know to be on a watch list for research related to Cyberpunk setting, we're pretty sure. The research required to make the scar is scientifically accurate to an identico.
Who puts a bayonet on a rocket launcher at that point? Just swing it at the guy. Listening is so fun, Mike. So they completed by the seat of their pants. Yeah, so Calic's stupid. Have a pair of pants as a calling card. Yeah, they're doing that. They're just going to leave these pants at the scene of the crime and call themselves the Pants Gang. And hope that the Night City Police Department never puts it together.
Pants Gang.
They also found out that they have... They also found out that they have the Arasaka crown that Saburo used to kill Johnny Silverhand. But, you know. They don't know it's that yet. They just have that crown.
Also, okay, so my second story that I have
For
awesome fucking rolls. It's not a hilarious story. It's just a fucking good one. Basically, what happened was in Pendragon, there is a character named Aosa.
Yeah, the giant.
He's a half giant.
Big guy.
He's an asshole, and he plagues everything that happens in a lot of the game for a really long time.
If the GM works him right.
If the GM works him right. Now, what happened was that Mike had decided, because we have 2 Pendragon games. Mike runs one and Devin runs one. Devin hasn't done his game in a really long time. Not that we're upset with him. He had a wedding to plan. So we said, okay, don't worry about it. So Mike decided, I'm going to run Pendragon with some other people so that way I can get my Pendragon fix, and also so that way I don't die. Also, because Pendragon's really fun.
Also, we were in the middle of a pandemic.
We were in the middle of a pandemic,
and
needed something to run, and Pendragon is long. So, we're running Pendragon, and basically what happens is, I have basically made, arcade, for lack of a better term, but female. Because my character, Olivia, is really fucking good, and I love her. To the point where I'm so sad that we're not actually including her in our original webcomic idea. But there are reasons why we can't do that. Mostly because of the fact that Olivia...
The narrative literally that we have falls apart.
Yeah, because Olivia literally marries Maddok, who is the son of Uther, and technically Arthur's older brother. And I'm like, that's a bad idea. How do we make it so that way literally none of the fucking children that Olivia make are not actually Pendragon children? Yes, we'll just never, actually, get Maddok, legitimized, so that happened. So anyway, Olivia basically uses the death of her husband as an excuse to become the best swordsman in the world.
And she fucking does.
And I did. So, what happened was... Ouch. What happened was, at the time, we were trying to figure out what to do, with the rest of the world, because, everything was on fire. And, we found out that one of the people that were in our court was actually being a spy to the Saxons, and they were basically ferrying messages off to the other... they were ferrying messages off to the Saxons so that way all of our plans were basically unfolded. Turns out she was also a woman. So I said, alright, cool, we need to kill this woman now because she's obviously doing treason, and we don't need that in our life right now because everything else is on fire and we don't need it. So she goes, cool, trial by combat, and I went, fuck. And then we go, okay, cool, who are you going to ask for trial by combat because nobody in the fucking court is going to believe you? She goes, I want Aosa. And I went, shit. Because the best...
Aosa's so the best... Yeah, go ahead.
By the way, Olivia Sumdrak, greatest swordswoman in the world. It's Olivia the Immortal, okay? Because the thing is that
she doesn't die.
I don't die. Literally, we've gotten her to the point where she almost dies, several times in the game, and she's just survived. And I'm like, well, Olivia the Immortal it is. So basically the entire time, I'm like, shit, alright. So I started talking to Mike, because I was like, okay, you just put out Aosa in front of me, and we all know that I'm the only one who has even a fucking chance of beating him, because he is a fucking half-giant, and he will kill everybody. So the only chance I have is if I hit him first, and he dies, right? If I critical him. So, given she is basically female arcade, how much of this woman is scars?
So much!
A lot! She almost lost an arm! She's got a huge scar across her chest. She's got one across her...
here. She's got full crosswork. Yeah. She's been cut so many times.
It's a lot.
The difference between her and Arcade is Arcade would keep fighting when he had the wound in her.
Yeah.
In him. He'd just be like, oh, there's a sword in my stomach. Cool. Let's get up.
Yeah. No, the thing is, Olivia would fall down because it's oh, she is, dying. Whereas Arcade is I am almost dead and I'm gonna keep stabbing you. And we're like, Arcade, stop. You're gonna bleed out if you keep going.
They can't kill me if I'm dead.
Right? Anyway, so the idea is that, everybody else is looking to me. Would Highlander work as a TTRPG? Yes, in Pendragon. We actually figured it out.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
So the group is all looking at me going like, are you going to be okay to fight Aosa? And I said, look, this may be the end of Olivia, guys, because I'm talking to Mike and I said, look, I don't care if Olivia dies in this thing. She has to take down Aosa. That's the only thing I'm asking. And he goes, well...
I can't promise that.
I can't promise that because he has Aosa's stats. And Aosa literally could kill me in one hit.
If he hit you.
If he hit me. Right? And I said, okay, so the only chance I had was if I crit enough to get him knocked down. Because if he can get knocked down, I can kill him. Right? So we start squaring off. We're doing the whole thing. How would firearms and explosives work in Pendragon? It doesn't. It's medieval times.
Yeah, it just does not work.
So we square off, right? And Aosa does his whole thing of like, to the gods, fuck off, I'm busy. And I said, this is exactly what I said right before our fight. I said, God, I don't care if I die. All I care is that I take this bastard with me.
And just like that.
And just like that, God showed up because I criticaled and Mike, like...
I've never rolled so bad in my life.
No, because this is what happened, right? Because we tied, and I criticaled in the tie. And a tie in Pendragon is actually the worst fucking thing that can happen to anyone who doesn't have a sword.
Because ties go to swords.
Because this is what happens when you have a tie. When you have a tie with two regular weapons, so if you have two axes or whatever, then both your weapons break, right? If you have a tie with a sword and another weapon, the sword breaks that weapon, and the other person just keeps their sword. Right? If it's two swords, then you both get disarmed, right? But if it's the sword and the weapon that is not the sword gets destroyed. And Mike said before this entire fight, he is only here with his axe and nothing else. And I'm like, so now he's got bare hands, and I am here with the sword. So at which point I just said, look, you've lost. Step down.
He did not step down.
You don't have to die like this. He did not step down. So he decides he wants to come charging at me. Thankfully, because it's his fists, he has less of a chance to hit. But Mike has never critically fumbled so many times in his life. While I am critically...
It was worse than 2012 Bravo.
I was criticaling every single fucking hit. And I'm like, how is this happening? Right? Because, I just kept criticaling every single attack, and Mike kept fumbling, and I'm like, oh my god, it got to the point where I have just shredded his hands. Like, it was the whole fight lasted, 3 minutes?
3 rounds, maybe, at the...
3 rounds? It was ridiculous. His hands are shredded. He's got nothing left. He was literally going
on his knees.
He's on his knees. He's got nothing left to do. Oh, the gunplay... We'll get to that. We'll get to that. He's got nothing left. He's got nothing. He's just sitting there on his knees. His hands are completely done. He's his arms are hanging limp, and he's just looking at me. And he goes, "Just fucking finish me off."
No, he says, I choose to die. A warrior. I will face you on my feet." And he charged her.
Yeah, and then I killed him.
He knew he lost. He's like, "I'm not going to die a punk."
But yeah, I didn't even get a single fucking hit on me, right? Aosa could have killed me in one hit. I did not get a single hit, and I'm like, holy fucking shit, did that just happen? The entire group was screaming. They're like, oh my god, what is going on? And I'm like, I don't know, because I don't know what it is, but with Roll20, I have the worst fucking luck. Mike can attest, my rolls are shit on Roll20.
Except that one time.
Except that one time. Apparently, my entire luck just was I just sucked all of my past luck to this one moment in my entire timeline of I needed this to work, and somehow Olivia made it out alive. Even she was surprised. She's like, I don't know how I lived, guys. Greatest swordsman in the world. Exactly. Just sitting there, just Olivia's just going, I don't know how I lived.
You were also succeeding on your passion rolls.
I did succeed on my passion rolls, which was absolutely fucking lucky for that kind of rolling. Holy shit, it was so intense. All the guys are just looking over and going, get that fucking bitch out of here. Not me, the traitor. Get her out of here. She's dying now. Right, and she looked at me and she was like,
how did you do that?
She was surprised. She's like, How? That was Aosa! And I'm like, I don't even know how, bitch! What are you talking about? Sorry, I'm too loud. But yeah, anyway. So, my squire, I rolled a net 20 on my sense motive tip. Oh, I see.
You roll under your number.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think that's a real person.
Who?
The person who apparently just followed us.
Dixie a busted.
No, that's not. Change the X to an A, my love.
Oh! Oh.
I don't think that's a real person.
Oh, crap. You got a mod on deck?
It's a tip, but I can do it from here. What dice do you use for Pendragon? 20.
D20s and D6s for damage.
Yep. I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's a real person.
No, it's a hotspot beware because it's a hate bot.
It's not a hotspot. So
A D100 is it? No, D100s are for call, which uses a similar system because it's the same Chaosium.
but yeah, yeah, they did not show up on the list. Well, I don't like the name, so at any
It's a
rate,
safe name.
not a safe name. So anyway, Olivia is still somehow alive. I was so prepared to just be like, no, because my daughter was actually like literally
Getting knighted
that year. So it was like, okay, cool. I'm okay with losing Olivia. It was fine, and somehow she survived. That was a very intense game. Olivia, at that point, I said to Mike, is like, I think I need to retire Olivia. There's nothing that can happen that she can do to top this.
Like, I kind of need you for one more thing. Just to be around.
just be alive.
Just be alive
for
a bit. Monster I have is playing a mage in D&D, swimming to an island and rolling a 1 to dodge a fireball, reduced to exactly 0p like Wile E. Coyote. Pendragon has its own system.
Okay, so anyway, we figured out how to do the Highlander thing. So for explosives and stuff for the Highlander thing, because there's already crossbows in there, it's actually not so hard to modify that because you can add, because they also have what trebuchets, eventually in it, so you can add the trebuchet damage as explosive damage.
Yeah, you just gotta scale up the d6s.
Yeah, you just gotta scale up d6s. That's all. But yeah, we figured out how you could do Highlander in Pendragon. Basically, because of the fact that Pendragon, you can go several years without gaining any experience unless you kill something. You're only getting like so much experience. Highlander based off the live action show or the cartoon, the movie.
Live action show, well, movie, but yeah.
You could basically have a Highlander, and they don't have anything to do until like they kill somebody. So once you kill another another immortal, you you take the highest skill and highest passion, and you go up a rank from that person that you just killed, and go up a rank in that skill and passion. Duncan MacLeod of Clan MacLeod. Right, so that's the idea. It's you. So what are your thoughts on Sora and Smash?
I'm okay with it. Not who I picked in the last Smash slot, but it's okay. Because my call was for either Ryu Hayabusa. Like, I had 3 big picks for it. Was Ryu Hayabusa, Simon Belmont, and Chrono from Chrono Trigger. But I'm okay with it. Doesn't bother me, really. I got one of my 3.
Simon's not in there, is he?
Simon Belmont? Yeah, he's right up there. I have his amiibo.
Oh.
I love you.
I love you too. I was like, Simon's in there?
Yeah, Simon Belmont. Kicked your butt with him.
Oh yeah, he did. Sorry, I'm thinking Richter, and I'm like...
Well, Richter's in there, too.
I know Richter's in there, but I'm just like... Because I was like...
They're mirror fighters with very little different.
And I'm like... I'm thinking Richter, and then I'm like thinking the person that you wanted to be in there was Trevor, and I'm like, yeah, that's not...
Well, no, the person I wanted to be in there was Julius, for sure, but that's not going to happen. Simon was a launch for Ultimate.
But, yeah, what was I talking about?
You were talking about Highlander.
Yes, Highlander.
And using Pendragon for it.
So yeah, Highlander would definitely work in a Pendragon setting. Because you can go for years and years and years without doing anything. And then it also works because then you can just take the generational stats and use that for Highlander. And apply it to the same character as opposed to making different characters. Speaking of Julius, he's coming to Switch. Julius
Belmont? Or are we talking about the Castlevania game that he's in? The officers kind of made it appear like they were putting a Dark Souls into the game when Mario reached for a sword in the bonfire. I guess. Yeah, I heard the Souls fans were like really mad about that. I'm like, did you really think you were getting in, sweetie? Did you really think you were getting into Smash? Did you think that was going to happen there, honey?
To be fair, Sora is the number one
he was
requested character
from the survey last time. Yeah, the Castlevania Advance Collection. Yeah, I think Nintendo did it to bury PlayStation All-Stars one more time. I would, if we're gonna tinfoil hat, I think we have a stronger tinfoil hat argument for the fact that it came out. That announcement happened literally the same day as Nickelodeon All-Stars.
Do 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 do
do. I'm using Sword and Smash as proof that there is a god. Yeah, I heard about the Castlevania Advance Collection. Just waiting to see if there's a physical release for it. Maybe you want to play Kingdom Hearts 1 again. If I do that, I gotta play all of them.
I don't want to play Kingdom Hearts 1 again.
No?
I played 1 and 2, and that's enough. I don't need to do it again. Mostly because I think I'm just traumatized with the Axel bit, so...
Yeah.
The only good thing that came out of me cosplaying as Axel is that you saw me on stage.
I thought you were cute.
Yeah.
Favorite Castlevania game, your thoughts? Mine is Aria of Sorrow, because that's the one that got me in. I have it physically for Game Boy Advance. I love it to bits. I've played it numerous times. I did it on stream. I love that Soma's basically a giant idiot, and that Alucard is still an edgy moron, despite the fact that he now has a job. Yeah. It's still my favorite, even with all the bullshit that's in it. Kingdom Hearts will be running off the cloud of Switch, all 3 collections.
Traumatized by Axel. Okay, Bush. So this is the thing that because I don't think we told you about this. So Mike and I started dating in 2015.
Yes.
However, this was not the first time that Mike had apparently seen me. Now, I've been to Anime North a long time, right? To be fair, he's been there just as long as I have. But still, it was one of those things of, because of our age difference, we weren't really in the same circles. So, it was a very, it wouldn't have been like a really easy thing for us to meet up, but this is what happened. So after a 404 show, Mike decides, you know what, I'm going to just hang around so I can watch the skit competition, because the skit competition was right after a 404 show. And right
I wanted to hang around, tool around with the ninjas, and they liked me.
Right. I happened to be in one of those skits. I was cosplaying as Axel, because our entire friend group had decided we were going to cosplay as people who were in Kingdom Hearts 2. for reasons I don't know. And
She's telling me the story.
And I'm telling Mike this story later that I only did this I only had done 2 cosplays really. It was this one and Yuna from Final Fantasy X. But I'm telling him about the Axel cosplay, and he looks at me and he goes, did you have that big red wig on? And I went, yeah. And he goes, were you in a skit competition? I go, yeah. And he goes, did you have, like, the headphones on and you were bamming, I'm gonna make love to your woman? And I'm like, oh my god, you saw it! And he goes, yeah, I did. I thought you were really cute. And I'm like, no!
Chain Memories on My Symphony of the Night. Chain Memories on GBA is pretty good. RE is trash. Like, you've been playing Dread, if so, thoughts. No! Did I not just pull out the poop bags? I'm not going to play
we
before
totally missed it.
sorry.
They weren't here earlier.
So, fuck, do we still have the poop bags?
They're over there.
So, I pre-ordered Metroid Dread on Friday.
Hang on, I'll give Bluish the link of the skit. So hey, Tom Barry, there you are.
Yeah. So, okay. So, alright, Friday, I go to pick up my pre-order for fucking Metroid Dread. I show up at 9 o'clock. I said I'm preparing the turkey for tomorrow. At my local EB. And I've been calling them all fucking since the pre-order announcement got thing. Could be way too hot to put it in the oven. And while I'm waiting in line, apparently there's 4 other guys before me. They go up, they take the 2 collector's editions that the branch has, the location has. So I'm like, fuck. And while I'm in the lineup, I see on Amazon.ca, Metroid Dread Collector's Edition. I'm like, okay. Just order it here. It'll be delivered to me. Who gives a shit? Put the order in. They're in lineup. So would you bring me what? You should just leave that box right next to you.
Just leave it next to me?
Yeah. This is what arrived in the mail for me. So anyone wants 60 pet pickup bags. Sure as fuck wasn't $120 worth. Oh, fuck. I don't take it. Cursed item.
Cursed item. What
the fuck? Yeah, that happened. So, if you find a copy of Metroid Dread Collector's Edition, please let me know.
It would be very kind
Fuck.
of you.
What the fuck? Yeah, that was... Some people laugh their asses off. I think I live too far away to take those off your hands. Yeah. Some people laugh their asses off. Other people were like, what do you mean that happened to you? You don't deserve that. Other people were like, this is the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen. I can't believe you basically got memed. So rewatching you guys L5 arguing convinced me to pick up some books of the FFG's LGR game. That's real. That's a real nani moment. Because I picked it up when it got here, and I'm like, this is not the right shape for Metroid Dread Collector's Edition because it's a fucking flat collector's box. I'm like, this is not gonna be good. This is not gonna be good. It wasn't. I'm mad.
It had the correct address on it.
Yeah, and the order number and everything. I called Amazon and I'm like, hi Amazon, I don't know how to tell you this, but you sent me the wrong item. Oh, how so, sir? And I just like, well, this is what you sent me. This is what I ordered. I'm like, oh, that is so wrong. Here comes your refund right now. They were very cool about it.
They were really cool about
the refund. They were like, yo, no, that shouldn't have happened. That I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, we don't have any more in stock right now. Please keep staying on the website. I don't know that we will, but like that's your best odds kind of thing. But you're getting a full refund. Here it is. It's done. It's already being processed. None of the fuck. But yeah, I now own 60 pet poop bags instead of Metroid Dread, which means it was a filing mistake, which means someone for the price of 60 fucking pet poop bags got my copy of Metroid Dread in this city. And I'm so mad. Because I thought I'd lucked out.
Okay, my love. You'll find it.
Well, I have a line on one of them. I won number 1. Oh, it's that one. You okay? Yeah. You know what I'm mad most about?
What?
It was not $130 worth of pet poop bags.
I know.
It's only $60.
I know, my love.
I'm so mad about that. Okay, I've decided let me check GameStop for the SMP5 collectors, and just because I want the compendium for my stuff. If I can't find it, I'll just track down the compendium individually.
Did you give me the collectors, or...?
No, I got you the regular.
Yeah, because I don't need the collectors for Shin Megami Tensei. It's not Persona.
Okay. Yeah. You've said that many times.
Yeah, I wanted to double check. Because I'm like, hang on.
I just noticed the Transformers designed coasters. Cool. Thank you. At a later date. The early reviews for Dread are not promising, though.
It's a sign, my love.
Yeah. So yeah, I did not get my copy of Metroid Dread. It's doing that thing again.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, now I just think about the world of My Hero. I think he'd love it there, personally. He'd hate how none of the heroes were... Well, no, there are 18-plus heroes. There's Midnight. He'd love it there. He'd think it was a lovely, lovely place. Not right now. But I think he'd be busy trying to make the ships sail. Like, all of them. Everyone gets a partner. Oh, God, imagine Nauticus as the sex ed teacher for UA.
Yeah.
What's your superpower? You'll find out. You're too young.
Not doing 18, darling.
Do you guys have a favorite tabletop game or a genre, at least?
I love Pendragon.
I'm really liking Cyberpunk Red right now. I talk stealthy characters. Cleanse, Crayon, Scorpion seem the most appealing to me. During the Final Fantasy Fan Fest this year, they announced CE for the expansion that's coming out in November, and it was already sold out before they even finished the announcement. I was so gutted because it came with some cool stuff. I pre-ordered the digital CE, but I'm still a bit sad I couldn't get the good stacks and stuff. What do you mean not promising? I've heard mostly good things about Dread. It's got the same difficulty spike as Samus Returns. Not gonna lie, I kind of want to see Nauticus shake Sir Goofy off of the Royal Guard's hand. Really, all the rules for dressing is a great game. It's a great game. I've heard great game, great story, but the difficulty spike from bosses is not fair, is what I've heard. Can you be on duty for a lot longer? I gotta clean up after Dad right now. On that note, I wonder if My Hero Academia has a superpowered ahem diseases that Nauticus would have to deal with. Absolutely, I'm good for now. I don't know. No, that's not how My Hero powers work. Powers come from people. There's no such thing as a superpowered disease. Because there's no metahuman animals, right? I don't think. Oh my god. So yeah. I've got a guy who's got a line on a copy for me of the collector's edition. If it all falls apart, I will just go pick up my copy. But I gotta message him tonight and ask him. Nezu. That's a statement?
Nezuko?
It's Nezu. I got a question for you all, since we're just here hanging out. What's a continuity in D20 Live you would like me to do for like a con show?
I thought that's what this survey's for.
Yeah, no, I'm just kind of curious. Just kind of hear the feedback here. You know? We're having an afternoon chat. I myself have played Cyber Generation and Anime North for several years, even bought some of the books. Old game, but interesting to play. A lot about guns, explosions, more about undermining the system. There it is, the principal and a cat in Vigilantes have quirks. Oh, my bad. It's clarified the principal isn't a human with an animal quirk. My bad. Stargate. Angoria. Angoria. Glad that's still doing well for people. Star Trek or Space Battleship 2199. Like that, it's been streamed or in general? In general, just that I've never done. That you would like to see me specifically do for a con game. Just curious. It's not a survey question, just feeling it out. Naruto for a con show would be cool. It's not something I'm set in stone, I'm just doing a little question. Prompting engagement, I guess. If I have to put it to a term. about you, honey? Is there continuity you want to see me touch on? What? Is this going to be a thing I'm going to get mad at when you tell me? What is it?
Mass Effect.
Oh. Yeah.
I want you to fix the game.
You want me to fix Mass Effect?
I want you to fix Mass Effect.
So there's rumors of the... So what do you think of the rumors that Disney's planning to change the X-Men name? I think to try to fix something that doesn't work. They're not going to do it. There's too much money in the name. Babylon 5, I kind of like to see you do Power Rangers again. Kingdom Hearts, just to see what happens in Final Fantasy 14 and Fate. Well, Sam's done Fate.
I've done Fate?
Yeah, you did Fate. You made. You didn't do a Fate game, but
oh.
I guess I could run a Fate story, but the problem is it'll also be a little... The problem is it'll be very satirical. Like, it'll be hard for me to do a Fate game without tearing down the problem with Nasu's fucking storytelling. Which is always this is how it works, but not really how it works. This is how it works, but not really. The reality is this is how it works. Also, you're an idiot for having dreams. The only way to succeed is abandon your dreams. Nasu. That's all of this. One Piece might be fun for a con game. You know folks will expect it sooner or later. Yeah, Mass Effect will work too, Sam. If you ever randomly did a Final Fantasy 14 one, you have plenty of us draw on the lore for help. I don't know. No. Just hearing. I've done a lot of the big stuff now. Mike, you know the one game you have to play is Transformers. Yeah. No one really talks about Highlander as a living throne of heroes with Ionian Eterori. Yeah, no, like the only consistency I've learned about Fate is things don't work until they should work. The way they just work out, and they will word you to death until Nasu will word you to death until you just give up believing you understood how the fuck his universe should work. Because I'm sorry, Iskander loses to Gilgamesh, but fucking Shiro can beat him in a fight? That's stupid. This is the complex 10 sentences why it works. Shut up, Nasu. You old dumbass. I'm not bitter. Iskander should have won. And Arturia jobs way too much. I'd say Doctor Who, but that is talking. Although I wouldn't mind taking part in a worldwide wrestling game, not sure if I get the RP part of it down. At a con, that is. It doesn't help that mystery is a big component. Yeah. This just turned into me rambling about Fate. I'll move on from that topic. Okay, that's some interesting answers. I feel like the big two that I haven't touched is Doctor Who, as well as...
Fate Stay Night. I thought you were talking about the system.
No, Fate Stay Night.
Yeah, I did Fate Stay Night, because Unlimited Maid works. Yeah. I thought that was so funny!
I thought that was great.
I thought it was the greatest joke.
And
no one laughed! And I was so upset. And I was like, but Unlimited Maid works.
Should have called it Unlimited Waifu Works. Would have been ahead of the curve. Oh well. Only the audience decides what becomes mimetic, baby.
You know.
It's so quiet in here today. To be fair, we are recovering.
Yeah. Mike and I had about a food poisoning.
Because we both ate the same meal.
And it was not fun. We both
spent
Friday like completely and utterly
devastated.
I slept for like at least 6 hours. Mike slept for 4 during the day.
Is there a worst game system out there in your opinion? The
Firefly?
Okay, we're talking about the bad ones. I've softened on the Star Wars FFG system a lot more than I used to in the past. My worst is still Fatal. I know there's one worse than that, but it's so much worse that I don't bring it up.
We literally use Firefly as a...
Yeah, there's Firefly the RPG. It's not a good system. I do not care. I get it. Everyone likes Cortex and Kevin Coltese. Is it Kevin Coltese? I don't know. And I get that people really like Cortex because they're woke. The system wasn't good.
We literally, like, whenever we pull out our lights, we use Fate to literally weight them down.
Firefly
to weight them down.
Yeah, into place. It's just not a good system. It's the book. It's not even that there's a problem with the system. The book is so mechanically is so poorly laid out for finding things that you need that you might as well. You're better off going on to fucking Reddit and getting the GM sheet. It is however hyped, hoping to see me get more love with the remake out. I kind of want to ask if Nauticus would choose to become one of his Skinner's retainers now you're wearing a subject change, so I'll table it for now. What did you eat? We made a type of Japanese curry that something was wrong with it. We don't know what.
We have no idea what happened. It did not agree with us.
Yeah. So.
Because, like, all the stuff that was in there was cooked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the chicken was cooked. Even before we put it into the curry, everything was cooked, right? So, like, the only things that weren't cooked were the potatoes, which I didn't skin them because Mike doesn't like me to skin potatoes.
No.
And the mushrooms that I put in, like, because we had two different types of mushrooms. It was, like, regular krememi mushrooms and shiitake mushrooms. And both of those I've been okay with in the past.
And I've never had. I'm not have any bad reactions.
Mike's never had bad problems with any of those in the past either, and I'm just like, this is weird that we both got sick, right? Because the landlady didn't get sick because she normally doesn't eat food that we make, right? Like if it was all food that we all had eaten, and then the landlady also got sick, then it would have made more sense. But
go.
We were very confused. Oh my god, okay, hang on. My leg fell asleep. Oh.
There, though. You slap that leg around. You tell it who's boss.
I am telling it who's boss. Me. Me. I am the boss.
Fucking. I just pulled out a Gundam marker. Where'd it go? No, it didn't. Can you scroll down, babe? I'm doing my story. This is the Unlimited Blade Works. So it's kind of a nickname that went by in high school, became modern lingo, but bet for the curious. Sorry you brought up Type Moon. I had to kind of do that. Oh, always cook potatoes. They're in nightshade and will bugger you up if uncooked.
No, we cooked them. They were cooked.
I don't think D20 has ever done a Western game. Oh, no, we haven't.
Yeah, our potatoes were cooked, right? They were, like, soft and cooked all the way through. I don't know why, like, they did, like, it didn't... I don't get it.
I like New World of Darkness a little bit better. Anyway, going back to bad systems, and I maintain this, do not fucking like motherfucking... What the fuck was it called? Bluebeard's Bride. I think that's a bad system.
Yeah, the potatoes were the only things that weren't cooked before we put them in. So it was just, we cooked the potato, and then we put in the everything else. At any rate. So, Mike, do you have a line on real grade high new Gundam yet?
Nope! I'm not trying to find one either until I finish at least the real grade unicorn.
Also,
Wedding. I'll let that dry for a minute. But it can wait. It's not going anywhere. 13th Age would be great to see at a con. Oh, Mike, I have a question. You seem to have more show writer experience than I do. Apologies for misremembering. How would you narrow down the Showa options for writer newbie? I don't have Showa experience per se because I've only watched the original writer and a couple of episodes of Black. That being said, with Showa, I've read a lot of what people say about it, so I don't consider myself an expert in any way. It's just I immerse myself in what the fandom was saying about the Showa era. For a writer newbie, to me, the easiest one is Black. In my personal opinion, based on what I've read, because Black is self-contained, it's a full run, and it's critically, like, one of the most beloved. That being said, if you're looking to do a long haul, really get the roots of common writerdom, you watch the original writer. That's my personal opinion. Because there's guys that like reboot the formula do soft reboots every so often. Skyrider was, I think. X was an attempt to, and all that. Like I wouldn't say starting with something like Zed Cross or shit like that, right? But to me, if I was to pick like I would say Black's the easy show writer show to watch. Could a Lady of Pain work as a Warlock's patron? No. She doesn't give her power. She doesn't give anything. She just is.
She doesn't like worshippers. She hates the fact that she has them.
If you worship the Lady of Pain in Sigil, you get killed and mazed. Oh, thanks for the clarification and advice, Mike. I mean, we're never going to see Dragonite. We're never going to see Dragonite ever see the light of day again. Yeah. But yeah, I would... No, you cannot make the Lady of Pain a patron. She doesn't care. Because she doesn't want to make a deal with anybody. If your deal with the Lady of Pain is don't talk to her, and she doesn't do anything to you.
Yeah.
That's her entire MO. Like, she doesn't care about you. She doesn't care about me. She doesn't care about anybody. She is doing something. Just stay the fuck out of her way. She is the reason the gods don't march on Sigil. And they want that fucking city. They have wanted it forever. Right? They have actively always wanted it. Just don't let her see you and stay out of her way. And that's just the rules.
Look, babe.
Oh, you'll have a bit. A little bit, boy.
A little bit, boy.
A little bit, boy. I tried to ask because I got a question on Twitter last night, and all I could think of a correct movie was the Shin Prologue, Zio, and Jay's movies. I would not pick Shin's Prologue. That's a very intentional retake of the Kamen Rider style. I would say just starting with Black, because Kamen Rider is a serial format show. And I would just throw them right at Black. That would be my legit pick. I haven't played Dr. Terwat's long game. How are your opinions on 5e changed at all?
No.
Yes and no. Yes and no in different ways. My opinions on 5e... Okay. Yes and no. I'll explain why. No, because I never had a truly negative opinion about 5e. I hated the worship it got. Right? It's because I didn't look at 5e in a vacuum. That was my problem. I looked at 5e in terms of how Wizards was trying to elevate itself above all other tabletop brands and separate itself as a different entity. And the people who were and the fact that it was this myopic circle of, I want to become a famous Twitch streamer, but I have to work for this famous company. Like, if you are a big brand, you don't do another tabletop game. You do a 5e game, you get more famous because you have a 5e game, and then it's just this fucking circle. And it makes Wizards more money. Wizards gives you money for funding, and it's this fucking circle. Right. Nothing comes out of it. 5e itself, the game, there's nothing really wrong with it. I'll say now what I said when it came out back in the day. 5e is exactly the game Wizards of the Coast wanted to make when they first got the brand.
I'm mad because it's still bad.
Alright, Sam hates it far more than I do.
Because I've played 1st, 2nd, and 3rd edition, and it's 2nd edition, but easier, and I'm so mad, because I'm just like, guys, it's not that fucking hard, and then they changed bards so much, and I'm just like, why did you do that? Why did you change bards? Why did you get rid of Countersong, and then made a Counter Charm at 6th level? Excuse me?
Like, for 5e, there's no nuance to what you're playing, right? You have to min-max the living fuck out of your characters to really make it your own. Otherwise, your rogue's going to be the same as anyone else's rogue, right? Across the board. Which is good, because you can build a rogue at level 20 in 5 minutes. And it's done, right? Everyone knows it, all the tools and infrastructure are in place for it. Right? That's a good thing. I have always said that that's a good thing.
Second bit.
I enjoy it more now because of that ease and speed, and I get why this... It's not like... And I get why it's gone down this way. But the problem is, I'm a guy who plays all these other games. And I don't like all this talk that comes with 5e of, well, because 5e is this, you have to do this, and it's stupid. Like, Wizards has actively market campaign is trying to choke out the rest of the tabletop industry to sell their game. It's a real thing they're doing. Everyone knows they're doing it if you pay attention to the market for more than 5 minutes. Because they're pulling themselves out of Gen Con. They're pulling themselves out of fucking everything. And this is very much not the game Gary Gygax invented. For some of you, that doesn't fucking matter, and you hate Gygax, and that's perfectly...
That's fine,
That's perfectly valid.
Gygax was made for a different generation.
Yeah, his style was made for a different generation in time. This is... And the
game has to evolve,
It has
right?
to. Right?
But the way that it has evolved frustrates me, because then it's not playing D&D, it's playing a video game but with paper.
Yeah. It's very accessible. It's very easy. I'm annoyed the fact that there was this weird shift in 5th edition to pivot towards the LGBTQ community. Because prior to that, the 5e market, and everyone's asking why the old grognards of Dungeons and Dragons hate the LGBTQ community, because they never were. If you were LGBTQ+, you didn't play Dungeons and Dragons 3rd or 2nd edition. You played Vampire. You played Cyberpunk. You played Shadowrun, because those guys were already doing that back then. But now they've got this automatic buy-in because all these LGBTQ+ streamers are streaming just 5e. That's where my annoyance and frustration comes. Mechanically, I don't have a problem with the system.
It's not the LGBTQ. It's the blatant pandering.
I wouldn't call it pandering. They're targeting the market, right? But they're targeting an effective market that is loyal and requires content. It's a smart move, but it because of the weight of Dungeons and Dragons, it pushes down all these other people who were in this industry already making content for that market, and they're getting forgotten. I actually think about a hardcore Western would be cool. I prefer 3rd. I like the feats. That's a problem with 5e for me. The power of player characters is just too much. Actually, I forgot I played the main character from Dragon Knight. An unofficial HD remastered Dragon Knight's Twitter, which I can send you that link. Yeah, that's my take on it. The problem is 5e doesn't exist in this tabletop vacuum, unfortunately. Talking about 5e as a system comes with all of this politics and pearl clutching with it, and you can't, the system itself is fine. It's a light rules fantasy RPG system that is really conducive to streaming. It's great for that. Mechanically, I think the advantage system is a little crap, because it's basically the GM has to rule that you have when you have advantage, not just say it. And there's a lot of stuff that's really conditional on GM choice rather than giving stronger, clear parameters. I don't think it's a good system for character roleplay, because there's nothing in the mechanics that facilitates that to a reasonable degree to me. And the death save system sucks. Those are my negatives. But it's fast, it's quick, it's easy, you feel powerful.
I think I'm just mad because of the fact that it's literally 2nd edition for me, because death saves were always in Dungeons and Dragons except in 3rd.
So what you're saying is capitalism is the problem.
Yes.
I guess.
Capitalism!
I find with 5e players, they don't have as much willingness to try different systems.
That is the other thing, and I'm really frustrated by that, where it's
I don't want to generalize the 5e players, though, because there are clearly 5e players that are bleeding out. But this is a thing I've heard from other devs, especially, right? Because I actually know a couple of tabletop devs. I've said, well, what do you find? It's like, dude, there's the D&D market, and then there's everybody else. This is just how it is. So
there are so many other systems out there,
and they're like, I don't want to learn a new game.
And that's always the thing. They always go, I don't want to learn a new game, and I'm like, but why?
Why would you limit your experience?
Why would you limit your experience?
And it's a logic that I equate to, and this is what I say, and I don't say it to their face because some of them are my friends. I don't want to piss them off. I'm like, so you're talking about the tabletop industry, but you only play one game. You're like a Fortnite streamer
talking about the rest of the
video game industry and complaining about Dark Souls. That's literally the thing, right? What's wrong with the death save system? I think it's stupid.
I like the death save system, right?
In 5e?
Not in 5e, in 2nd edition, right? All the things that I like about the, like, because if you told me that all of these things that were in 5th edition, I go, oh yeah, I know exactly what that is. That's actually a really good thing in there. And then actually playing it in 5th edition, I completely, it's not correct. It's like they took it but then dumbed it down more. And I'm like, but it was already there. You had all the tools. Why did you change it? Fuck! Like, I'm not kidding, guys. Like, 5th edition is really just, like, 2nd edition, but dummies, right? And I'm like, not calling you guys dummies, but it's like, for dummies, right? It's just...
Well, there's an accessibility argument to make, right? Like, it worked. It did work in their favor. Like, everyone gets the system, right?
I know everyone gets the system, but it's not that hard to get 2nd edition, right? Everyone just gets daunted because there's no pictures in it. I'm not kidding you. The only difference between friggin' 5th edition and 2nd edition rule sets for half of this shit is the fact that there are no pictures in 5th and it's in 2nd edition. Ah!
I love you.
I love you too.
How's your figure coming? Your model?
Figure's done. I'm just doing base now.
Okay, I'm gonna scroll down. And I played Call Pathfinder 5e. I like reading from books, mutants, and masterminds, especially with the Hero High Switch book. See their new Unearthed Arcana new races? They just completely removed any race stat bonus for them. That doesn't bother me. Because they're doing these different things now, and they're I don't really care. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't, like, I liked the idea of I don't know. I've heard the argument so many ways about the fucking getting rid of stats for races and how it's this big eugenics thing. And I'm like, okay, I don't care. I don't have a dog in that race.
I'm tired of the people going like, oh, you know, you should really stop calling orcs evil. And I'm like, they're orcs. Every system in the entire universe has orcs. Right? Most of them are not nice.
Yeah.
But they go, it's a euphemism for
black people.
And I'm like, no. Not every... Right, because it's frustrating, because, like, they go, like, oh, you know...
Well, you're not alone
because they're tribal, and I go, but... Every race is tribal at some point, right? White people also started off as tribal. They just advanced, right?
Well, changed. I don't know. Advance is a debatable point.
No, that's the thing. You advance in technology. That's how you gain a society, right? Right, the people in tribal societies that are still here now were actually oppressed, and that's why they're still in tribal societies. Right? I'm pretty sure they have so many other things in advancements that people don't even realize, especially in medicine, right? Like, they have so much more knowledge that we have lost, right? But I'm just frustrated. It's like, it's not... I'm gonna shut up, because apparently I'm putting my foot in my mouth.
You okay?
No.
I love you.
Oh, me too. Right, but it's not a euphemism. It's a euphemism.
You know, there's a whole lot of... Could it be the classic Western high fantasy's most popular saying that helps D&D and at the corner of the market? It's a factor, right? I agree it's a factor. But, yeah, I just don't... I don't know. There's a lot of discourse, I feel, about 5th edition and what is appropriate and not appropriate. Becomes very flash in the pan. We love you, Sam, says the Rebel Time Lady.
Thank you, Tomberry.
It becomes this very flash in the pan, knee-jerk response. Because the discourse about, I will go back to the orc thing, went from, you can't display orcs as a tribal people because of this. Not that I think the only place where orcs were seen as exclusively tribal was
D&D?
Blizzard, actually, with Warcraft.
True. That. Well, to be fair, they were also oppressed. And also because then the orcs became good because of...
They returned to their tribal roots.
Well, the book that you have. The book. The orc book. The one that you like.
Oh, Lord of the Clans.
That one.
Yeah, Lord of the Clans is great. Love that book. Right. But it's the thing that trickled down. Tolkien did not write the orcs to be tribal.
Right.
He wrote them to be a metaphor about the Industrial Revolution, and right. I will fight everybody on that point.
I will agree that drow shouldn't be automatically evil because of the fact that they are all black. That's agreeable. That's agreeable.
But we have all this evidence that says that they aren't. They have an oppressive dictatorship society. But then it becomes this... It's something that's gets blurred and everyone has this weird little take on it. And then the talk shifted to you can't play people of color in your game unless you're the game master, and it spirals, and these are flash-in-the-pan arguments that everyone either gives up on or cohesively moves on from. And there's this belief that we've reached a resolution rather than having an actual fucking discussion. And I don't care. I don't care about these arguments. They don't mean anything. Because here's the reality. If the worst, like, let's just say...
Remember when Blizzard was good? No.
Here's the thing.
Tell us how you really feel, Rusty.
Here's the thing. Here's the reality. The sad truth about tabletop. You can't stop someone from being racist at tabletop in their own home game. For good or for bad. I'm not going to say for good or for bad.
It sucks.
It sucks. But you really can't stop it. This is the nature of the beast. Okay? If someone in a basement with their buddies is being racist as balls, it might be morally reprehensible, and it is. You can't stop it. You really can't.
It's in the basement.
And no one, and I maintain this, no one over the age of 5 will listen to you if you lecture them about how they enjoy their fun. And it sucks.
You just don't play with those guys.
You don't play with those people. And when you see them acting like that, you go away and you leave them alone. The more you yell about them, it doesn't work. It never works because they band together. Because when you yell about these guys, these people, because it's not just dudes, they go, man, it sucks that I'm getting ripped on when I didn't say anything. And they band together on their fucking places. And they bottle up. And they become an echo chamber. And it just cycles. People want to look into much more fictional stuff and claim about something. Forget those people. Sure, they were good once a long time ago. Walked in on Heavy Talk. Welcome back, Rob. Comes back a little window from Stitches. Be glad smell-o-vision's not a real thing right now. Hey, Tom Bray. But yeah, that's my take on it. It's the good and the bad of it. Right? It's something a lot of people, when these tabletop arguments come up, do not fucking realize. When you make a tabletop game, you have to think about the fact that it's something that is enjoyed in a community event, even of a community of 5 people, in a closed environment. At a con or at a thing. It's why I don't want to play Bluebeard's Bride. Because yeah, when you design the game and play it with the devs, and you see how the devs play it, they will play it one way. But you have to consider how someone will reinterpret your rules and your setting. Because the nature of the human beast is that people will take what you have consumed and retell it. That's just reality. And they will take their own experiences and make it their version.
Damn it.
That is not bad. That just is. For good or for bad.
Damn it.
You okay?
Can you help me get it off?
Sure.
I put it the wrong way.
We really need to get that pride part.
Okay.
Not every tribal people is an allegory for black people. Not every dark skinned people are an allegory for black people. Yeah. Oh, that's how it was. I thought you were trying to get me to pride wide.
I put it the wrong way.
That's the point of RPG systems, to take a setup and make your own world for it. That's TTRPG 101. One way to improve drow relations, get rid of Loft's cult. Yeah. You don't like how the drow are? Change them. Change them. You want people to... You think you come up with something clever and you think that's the way drow should be? Sell it! Just sell it.
You know, that's what friggin' our...
That's what my Angoria's trying to be.
Also, what's his...
Drizzt.
Drizzt, yes.
Yeah.
That's what
Sell
happened with Drizzt.
That's what happened with Drizzt. Now everyone, until Tieflings and 5e were a thing, that's what it was.
Drizzt is in the fucking rule book of 5th edition.
Right?
Right? He is the picture of fucking elves. And I'm like,
People don't
why?
remember now because they're all playing tieflings, and tieflings are by default supposed to be an evil race.
Yeah.
But no one plays a tiefling evil,
No.
right?
Just misunderstood.
Just misunderstood. And that's what they were doing with Drow. That's just what happens.
I don't have a problem with playing non-evil races.
So anyone want to talk about StarCraft or Call? Or
Thanks,
Command and Conquer. But yeah, that's just what happens. And this piece will not fit in, and it angers me. Oh, I have it backwards.
Oh, babe.
Because I'm stupid.
You're not stupid.
I'm stupid! You love the stupid man.
You're not stupid.
I'm kind of stupid. I have a stupid moment.
You have stupid moments. You're not stupid.
I get passionate about my tabletop.
Oh, I don't want to transform him.
You don't?
He's hard.
Is he? Is he harder than Rodimus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this one falls apart.
Oh no. But Sam, my grenade launcher has an ammo pack now. So now I'm going to put it together. But do I have the right one or the left one? It's a mystery.
It's a
Oh,
mystery.
the ammo fell out. No.
Babe.
Put back in their ammo case.
I have a bunch of other things in here that I don't think.
Ouch. Oh.
Tiefling not being evil dates back to Planescape. Is this tiny Mike's voice I hear? You're not stupid, Mike. Tieflings are second generation of D&D edgelords. That's why I'm always scratching my head when I see it's essentially sensitivity training text and RPG. Like, this isn't going to stop anyone, so why is this here? Well, it's there for people... Let's pivot on that. It's there for people who want it, right? I agree with the existence of the X card and like the sheet of triggers. I don't use them. I just talk with my players.
You know, these are for people who don't have communication.
Yeah, who don't have good communication skills. I do. But that's what I do. I make sure that I'm always talking to my players and creating a dialogue with them so that they can openly talk to me about their problems, right? And when something is bothering them. Mike, meta question, does the Masquerade and Vampire game really make sense? Would things be bad if vampires were revealed? Yeah, they'd be gunned down. Yeah. Yeah,
Bullets still affect vampires.
Yeah, they would be gunned down like dogs. Okay? Okay, here's the thing. I will tell you what happened if the Masquerade got revealed. If vampires were revealed publicly. Okay, you're going to have two things happen. And also, fuck True Blood. True Blood's wrong. This is what's going to happen in the U.S. immediately. You're going to have very liberal people going, well, these people have a disease.
And they need to be cured.
And they're going to categorize those people. And you're going to have anyone who is not that turn around and go, I'm scared of this. Let's kill it. And it would be every systemic racism thing.
Are there more Drizzt clones or Char clones?
There's more Char clones. Because Drizzt clones don't become famous.
Ooh.
They don't.
Ooh.
They don't. Tell me another famous Drizzt clone.
Ooh.
Drizzt clones don't get famous.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll fire that shot.
That was shots fired, babe.
No one cares about your Drizzt clone. No one cares about your tiefling.
Shots fired.
Drizzt clones don't get famous.
Shit. Can I?
Put it up as Hootaha?
Put it up as Hootaha?
Hootaha?
No.
I
can't put it up as Hootaha. It only goes up there.
Look at any marginalized race in the U.S. and how they are treated. Now, add the fact that you have arguments for that marginalized people
should be killed
by virtue of the fact that they prey on the human condition. They'd be dead. The Masquerade could not function. They would become a marginalized race.
And they would have to be monsters.
Yeah.
In order to survive.
Because they'd have to hunt people, and that would just feed a cycle. They have every reason. Also, it's good if you run your games at cons, at public events. Well, I would think it'd be much worse. Inquisition, the fact that they use Monos Sophia on live could cause some problems. Even if guns don't do the trick, vampires can't handle hand grenades. The elf from LFG. Oh, my bad. The elf from LFG. Yeah, there's one. Far more accurate than you think, Mike. Anyways, Mike, you were saying, don't know how you cure vampirism. Couldn't the vampires offer to work with people instead of just controlling them? People don't care. Racism doesn't care about profit. If
I
anyone tells
will remind you what happened during the pandemic.
Yeah, racism doesn't care about profit. Racism does not care about profit. It doesn't.
Okay, when the chips are down and people are faced with something that is unknown, they will riot.
Yeah, and you would have a vampire race. You'd have a race that, by its nature, preys on humanity. They'd be wiped out. Gun designers would build weapons to kill vampires.
Yep.
They would build it. Gun designers are building shit now. Are trying to outdo each other in gun design now, currently. With no real reason to do so, because America's not really in conflict with anyone at this time, I don't believe.
They're in conflict with everybody. What are you talking about?
Like in a major warfare event.
They're not at war with anyone, but they are in conflict with everybody.
Yeah. But like, if you told every American gunsmith owner they're a gunsmith, you told every paranoid American gun owner there is a thing that will hunt you in the night and prey on you and bleed you for your blood, they would go to every gunsmith and say,
Give me the biggest fucking
give me the gun that
have.
kills the thing. And that would be it.
And the gun people will make it.
And that's just in guns. Here can be anything. Probably the same thing for werewolves. Yeah, werewolves too. It can be a liquid like a noodle, a high caliber rifle. Also, humans wipe out threats if afraid enough, period. Probably the same thing with werewolves. Yeah, I completely believe that. Which sucks, because I like werewolves.
Yeah, when the chips are down, people will get stupid.
It has nothing to do with profit. Like, the vampires will be like, hey, Wall Street,
right.
We've got all this money. And Wall Street will go, that's cool. We don't want to deal with your people and your people problems.
Think about it this way. All the anti-vaxxers right now, going around like complaining about a thing that has been scientifically proven to help people, suddenly now have this option of, well, you can help us with the vampirism, right? Would you like to offer your body to help these people with vampirism, right? Because they need blood. That's obviously the thing, right? They need blood, so we're just gonna ask people for volunteers. Can you come over here and do? Right now, suddenly, think about it this way. Everybody has to volunteer at least a half a pint of blood to all the people who have vampirism, right?
You're not gonna get my blood.
You ain't getting my blood. Suddenly,
I'm sorry, or my body autonomy is not something for a vampire to take.
Exactly. Right? Like, people will not work with other people. They're evil in most cases.
Look at my... Ah!
Right? It sucks, right? But that's unfortunately what happens with the masses, right? There are groups of communities that will listen to reason, which is fine.
It's great, actually.
Right? Right? Because, like, look, we have, like, a little pocket community right here.
Who will never oppress anyone based on their beliefs or views.
Right?
Unless it's incredibly caustic or dangerous. Sorry, but if you're an anti-masker, what are you doing here?
Hello, Corito.
Hey, Corito.
Doesn't it depend on lore, though? In some vampire lore, if you kill the originator, you can cure the subordinate vampires. Alternative, if you kill the master, it kills the subordinates. That's a thing, right? You have assets? Fine, die, and we'll just take it. Yeah. Just assuming vampires want donations.
You went Southern preacher there just then, Mike. I did, I'm sorry. That was a thing. Poole was more carefully covered not to be an edgelord. Thank you, why? Because, never mind, tip the player to be in Well, Tip is just defending his trust club.
The only other gun owners think about is fantasy. Who they can give their guns to. As long as it doesn't hurt anyone else, I don't care what you do. Although I think there are some wiggle rooms for werewolves.
Probably would be more. There'd be more argument for a werewolf thing. Because assuming... but it depends on the origin of the werewolf. Right? If it's more of a native Manitou spirit kind of thing. Or has this more traditional European curse things. Right? The House of Night series was different. But yeah, no. There would be...
I'm done with my thing, so...
Yeah, you please maintain the scroll. I have much more gun to do. I have made some gun. I have more gun.
More gun.
There's always more gun. I think I'm out of gun, but no, I have more gun to make. It would be the worst thing in the world if the masquerade happened.
You finished the War Greymon, Mike? Yeah, he finished it.
Yeah, I finished him. He's over there. He's up.
Mike Poole is based on Oz and Harry Dresden. How do you get Shard of that? Werewolves from WoD would be better as you're born with it.
Yeah. Oh, we really went to a heavy place. Okay.
Oh, I'm done. So I'm just gonna sit up here because I have nothing else to build today.
Yeah.
Just the Sidebuster.
FA2. I have much more to build. Where am I at? 350. FG, FA.
Well, it's raining like crazy. I need to go get food. Lovely.
So I hope I didn't bring people down with some of that stuff. We got oddly emotionally charged today.
Did you ever post a picture of the Wargreymon? I must have missed it when you were finished it.
Oh, I can grab it.
How about this? What if scions from White Wolf were discovered to be real?
That would actually be interesting.
That'd be really cool.
That would be an interesting story to me, because that's no longer that's not a racially confined thing.
Well, technically.
I mean, it technically is, but it's like you could be a scion, you could be a scion, you could be a scion.
To be fair,
because we have a community of celebrity worship, right? And you have all these different communities with their things. We'd have another scion. We would have another scion war, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That would be the inevitable result, because you'd have all these different communities with their champion.
That would be madness.
And that'd be cool. Right. But it would be like, you'd have native scions, you'd have Russian scions, you'd have Indian scions.
Atheists, back up. No.
I want an argument that God's real. Which one? Oh, no.
You could be a Cylon. Wait, wrong franchise.
Yeah.
Technically.
There'd be a wicked whoring out of people to have their kids scions, right?
Technically, that's what they did in Scion 2E.
They did that?
Apparently. I'm a sit here and eat popcorn. Scions and that are protected under the Geneva Convention.
Yeah, because that's not demographic bound. That would actually be legitimately an interesting thing.
Also, that means gods are real.
Yeah. But also, God's favor can be curried, and there's a lot of people that would just suddenly start praying. It's like, I need financial success. What God gives them.
Demigod Bachelor on Scion TV.
Yeah! I would love that. I would love to see that as like an HBO show. Of just scions are revealed to be real. The Fortune 500 lifestyle of scions. And this privileged 1% douchebags, and one guy finds out he's a scion and his life changes because of it. Or woman, whatever. But that's basically, I'm just describing the Amazon version of fucking
Olympus, the series.
Yeah. Amazon version of superhero show, The Boys. I'm basically describing The Boys at that point. It would naturally just turn to The Boys. You okay?
Yeah, I'm burping.
Oh no.
Couldn't that lead to inquisitions as well, or religious cults increasing? Yes.
Yep.
Asgard House. Oh boy. They'd probably bring down the evangelical right if scions were real. Zeus would be in trouble. Zeus is always in trouble.
It's Zeus.
It's Zeus. So Matt Smith is the Game of Thrones prequel spinoff.
Yeah, I saw. He's also in Ghostbusters.
Like Doctor Who, Matt Smith?
Yeah, he's in the new Ghostbusters movie.
Okay. I just need to confirm, just because there are lots of people named Matt Smith. Matt and Smith are both very common names. Always punch Zeus in the face. Oh, you were saying Scion. I was in another tab the whole time and thought you were saying Scion as in psychics. Punch Zeus on sight. Zeus will paying so much child support. Class of the Titans. Damn, Matt Smith's got some range. I'm an 11th Doctor on that one. What? What do you think of RTD returning to Doctor Who? Russell T Davies.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I saw the news and I don't know the answer to that question, honestly, because here's the thing I realized. And it's something the 13th Doctor Capaldi said. He said he couldn't.
I thought the 13th was the woman.
No, 13th Capaldi. No, 12 is Capaldi. You're right, 13 is the one. My bad.
Told you.
Capaldi. They asked Capaldi, why did you leave the show that you wanted to do? And he said, the way the Doctor Who production has become is it's such a factory for turning out content, you can't do character work at all. So I had to walk away from it while I still loved it, right? It had nothing to do with the fans or anything like that. The machine ground him down.
They're talking about punching Zeus.
Oh, yes.
Well, also, yeah, I need him to tone down the camp. What Rob just said, Capaldi is 12.
Thank you.
Tom Berry would know.
Tom Berry would know, and I do not question it. If I ever get Tom Berry on a fucking Doctor Who fact, I'm considering that my day.
Yeah, Capaldi is right. Is 12.
Yeah, okay. It's clear that the problem with Doctor Who isn't who the showrunner is, right? Because they've been having problems since Russell T Davies left. But what the overall, the money that the BBC is funneling in it and the return they're not getting on it, right? That's why these showrunners keep changing. And I think that has to do partially with what happened with... Who took over after Russell T Davies? You hate him. Moffat. In Moffat's era, where they just... you can see how the production jumped up during Moffat's era.
I hate Moffat. I like him in that one show that we watched.
Coupling.
In Coupling, right?
Yeah.
Coupling's
the
funny.
only good show he had.
Right, but like I hate him in Doctor Who.
Um,
Matt Smith is the 11th and my favorite, to be honest. That's okay, Rusty. You're allowed to have that opinion. I prefer the 9th Doctor.
That's fine.
He is my favorite Doctor.
But he openly said that the production was at such a thing that he couldn't really sink his teeth into playing the Doctor. And this is a guy who is a huge Doctor Who fan. That says something to me far more condemning and dangerous than the problems of one producer or one person. That's a systemic problem in the production of Doctor Who.
I have complicated thoughts about Russell T Davies coming back. And that's okay too, Sam. 9 is fucking great. The 9th Doctor was a good Doctor. I preferred 10. Moffat era, it was peak era for modern Who merchandising, and so was 10th. 10th is a great Doctor. Like, there's nothing wrong with David Tennant. Right? He was a very energetic Doctor while also being very, doctor.
But
the amount of women that were flocking to David Tennant, though, was a lot. Also, I have complicated feelings about David Tennant only because of the fact that everybody and their dog would compare the X to I don't have the Stream Deck set up, sorry. The X to Doctor Who. Even though they're only tangentially look kinda the same. Maybe they had the same hair color.
Your ex looked like the Hong Kong knockoff.
He did look like the Hong Kong knockoff.
David Tennant.
But anyway,
and the question is, and if Davies is not able to bring it to change the pace of the show against what the BBC is funneling money into, because from what little I've seen of BBC, they're doing way more different location shoots. They're putting a lot of money in. Like, you're going to be over here, you're going to be here, bigger sets, all of this shit, right? They're trying to make it look less campy, which Doctor Who fucking kind of is.
I have things to say about what 10 and 11 did to fuck up the fandom further, I can tell you that. Right, like, there's a lot of stuff that happened in the show where it changed the entire feel of what Doctor Who was. Right, because I remember watching 4th Doctor, like when I was younger, because my dad loved fourth Doctor Who stuff. Like, my dad would legitimately wear a long coat and he made my grandmother knit him a scarf to the length of Doctor Who. We still have it. It's like legitimately like long, and like he would like actually carry his textbooks in there. He pissed off his teachers so much they almost failed him in school because of how he dressed. Right, and I love the 4th Doctor. Yeah, Tom Baker. Right? I love the 4th Doctor. He's a great Doctor, right? And I see where 10 was trying to emulate that kind of stuff, and I'm like,
It's kind of a hybrid of 4 and 5, isn't he?
He is. Sam, 4th Doctor cosplay? I can't do it. It's my dad's stuff. Lusting Fangirls versus the Basement Boys versus the people who just wanted to enjoy the fucking show. I know. Yep. Right. To be fair. Right? I really fell in love with Doctor Who because I just
nice.
liked the idea of the Doctor to come and like swoop you away and do the whole thing. I didn't want to fuck David Tennant. That wasn't what I wanted to do. Right? I wanted the Doctor, right? And I got him.
What?
It's you.
No, I'm not. Honey, the Doctor is a madcap genius who runs around getting into adventures and saving people.
Hi.
I've never saved anyone.
Me.
I don't save people.
You save people.
With a bevy of extraordinary different knowledge who's also very handy.
Hi.
I'm not handy.
You're very handy.
Name one thing I fixed.
My love, you helped me put up curtains.
That's curtains, darling.
I'm bad at it!
The Michael. When you guys read a new RPG system, do you create in your head what kind of characters you would like to play if you took part? That's how I immerse myself in. Yeah.
Yes.
I try to imagine how the game is going to play.
You saved us from bad actual plays. See?
Really? Yeah? Have I helped you people?
Personal favorite Doctors are 4, 5, 7, 9, 10, and 11.
I like 2.
You like 2? I really wish we got more TV broadcasted stories with Paul McGann. Fuck you, Roseanne, for having better ratings. Are you touched now? A little bit? You having a hard time there, honey?
I'm not moved. What are you talking about?
You saved me from boredom. Now I can talk to people who share my interests. See, honey? I love you.
Me too.
Yeah, did we tell people about how we figured out that I was in love with you?
You just decided, I thought.
It was, well, to be fair, okay, like, I always had a crush on you. That was never in question, right? But, like, the thing that really made me fall in love with you was that it was your Doctor Who one-on-one game with me.
Yeah.
That's when I realized, fuck, I'm in love with this man. Shit, I gotta deal with crap now. Paul McGann is a fucking sweetheart, and I will defend him to the end of time, pun intended. Yeah, the 1996 TV movie was a backdoor pilot. It's always meant to be a soft reboot. Sadly, had to tap out after 12 start because the airing schedule was random as hell, so I was unable to catch most of his run. So check out his Big Finish stuff. It's so good. I even sent you a friend request before realizing it was probably inappropriate.
It's not inappropriate. I don't friend fans because on my Facebook friend page, I usually go into a lot of my problems. And things like that.
Mike likes having that barrier.
Yeah, like there's a thing of, to me that Facebook friend thing is, you're going to hear like all the shit that's going on in my head, and my friends all know that and they are encouraging me to do that, but that's something I don't want to put on the fans.
Yeah, I don't friend people on Facebook because my family is connected to me on my Facebook and I don't need people to start harassing my family. Cause they're my family, and I love them, but I keep them separate from the rest of the world.
Okay, that's another grenade launcher done. I'm back.
We have
my leg.
books in the Big Finish dramas for Paul McGann. If Sandler could play a wholesome Dracula, Jack Black can play a great Bowser.
No one argued that Jack Black was going to be a good Bowser, okay? The internet community jumped on that. There is now a Jack Black Bowsette.
Yeah.
Okay? The only good thing to come out of that announcement was Jack Black being Bowser. Everything else they lamented.
To be fair, people just like Jack Black. He's good in everything.
It's just like, Jack Black is Bowser? Oh, that makes so much sense now. Mario, I will bring you down.
You have his version of Shot and Elf. How Big Finish even brought back Eric Roberts. In a way, you're friend-zoning people.
I'm sorry, also what? Oh, I'm just stretching out my leg.
But yeah, like, the idea is that we try and keep it separate for a different reason. Because you have access to us. We have the Discord.
Yeah, you have my Twitter, you have my TikTok, you have my Discord, which are interaction points that are built for fan audience, but my Facebook is for personal people.
Yeah, Facebook is for, like, people that, like, family and close friends, and that's it.
I am trying to be more diligent about that, because some days I just turtle up after we're done, and thing.
Jack Black is so wholesome for some reason. No, Jack Black sucked in Jackson's King Kong. Well, okay,
Yeah,
I
okay.
haven't seen that one. But
Yeah.
I have seen him in the new Jumanji reboots, and I love him.
He's a shyster businessman.
Is he?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why it doesn't work for him.
To be fair, you have to let him be funny.
Yeah. He wasn't funny, he was just a shyster businessman. Also, they really hype up the romance between King Kong and the girl.
Ew.
Yeah, I know. I don't get it.
Not gonna lie, seeing the news was wild. I went from not wanting to see the Mario movie to be instantly sold on seeing it because of Jack Black. I could see Black and Pratt bouncing off each other as a comedy duo. He missed the point of Carl Denham. Oh god, Jack Black is Bowsette. The horror.
Screw you, that man would be beautiful.
He would be beautiful.
Kinda hoping for a new Mario Bros. Cartoon where Luigi is as great as I know he can be. I love Luigi.
Do you like who they cast as Luigi?
Who did they cast as Luigi?
I don't remember.
Hang on.
See, the thing I know about that is all the casting memes that came out of it. Where it was like, especially for Yakuza, because who did they do for Yakuza? It was funny.
Charlie Day is Luigi? Hang on. I don't remember who Charlie Day is.
Pepe Silva. Yeah, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, milk stick guy. Oh, you don't like that at all. I know that. That's the face of Sam when she got 8 something she don't like. Oh no.
I love Luigi.
Pacific Rim 2, he was the bad guy.
Yeah, I remember, and I didn't like him there either! Side note, Nacho Libre is better than it should be. Jack Black carries the entire movie by himself.
Well, we ruined Sam's day again. Mario, can I tell you about the coffee?
Once you go down Super Mario someone at whole only proms. Which doesn't say much for the movie.
Yeah, no, someone did it for Yakuza, and my favorite was who they were casting. They had
To be fair,
what?
Jack Black is Majima.
That's not who they fan casted as Majima.
Leguizamo tried his best in a bad production.
Everyone tried their best in a bad production. Bob Hoskins looked like Mario. The motherfucker put on the perfect Brooklyn accent. Was the build, had the mustache, he was tonally perfect.
Mario.
And it was
Mario.
And the film was so bad, though he is fondly remembered for it, he hates that movie and he wishes he never did it. I feel bad for Hoskins. Bob Hoskins did not deserve whatever that movie did to him.
Never liked the cowardly personality Nintendo gave Luigi. Admittedly, they at least gave Luigi personality. I love Luigi. Luigi's my main in Smash.
I'm gonna do it, Mario. Please don't, Luigi.
I'm curious, what's your favorite Jack Black movie? I must say the Kung Fu Panda trilogy.
That's fine.
He was also dead drunk on set every day. I mean, I don't blame him, Rob. I liked Hoskins and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Everybody likes Hoskins and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
And Hook. He's amazing at Hook.
Yeah, he is. He's a fantastic.
They decided to play that. They openly have said they decided to play those two, Hook and Shmi, as gay. God bless them. It's amazing.
Okay, my favorite Jack Black movie. Oh, I've got.
Mine is Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2. I'm not a huge fan of the third one.
I really have to think about that because, like, well, to be fair, Tenacious D in The Pick of Destiny is so fucking funny, right?
Is it? I heard that wasn't that good.
To me, it's really funny. I don't like. Okay, when you hear about the greatest song in the world, though, and then it's like. And then it's the song that they actually play, and I'm like, shit, that's not actually that good. But to be fair, he was in Hook. Yeah, he's Smee! School of Rock. Oh, okay, I have a different thing with School of Rock, and just... He was Smee.
Love Smee.
Love Smee. He was fantastic.
Smee, I'm going to kill myself. Oh, not again.
Not again.
Not this again. Don't try to stop me, Smee. Don't try to stop me, Smee. Don't you dare try to stop me, Smee.
Stop me, Smee.
Smee, get your ass up and over here. Oh, sorry.
It was only a tribute, Sam. I know, but still. Quite unpopular opinion. I actually think Jackson King Kong movie was awesome. I didn't make the connection either. I like Kung Fu Panda as well, especially where Mantis tweaks his facial nerves. I have to think about it. Like, I really think. Yeah, no, I think Tenacious D and Kung Fu Panda. Those are my top picks.
Yeah, for me, it's Kung Fu Panda.
I unironically love
his entire speech to Sifu about the only person who could make me not me is you, the greatest teacher in all of Asia, and him just screaming, "How are you going to turn this into the Dragon Warrior?" It still gives me chills. I'm sorry, that's just really
I love you. That's because you really connect with that.
I do.
Yeah, I keep thinking that Jack Black is in Fanboys, but he's not.
He should be.
He's not in Fanboys because that's so many other people in there. I do like the movie Fanboys. That was the one thing I got to keep from the ex. Dun dun dun.
Was your copy of Fanboys?
Yeah, my copy of Fanboys.
The only thing worth keeping from that relationship was a copy of Fanboys.
Yeah. Plus, movie adaptations of video games are notoriously poorly made. Just look at Doom. So, Sam, why don't you like School of Rock? It goes back to the X. Dun dun dun. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Ask us on the Optimal Duo tomorrow,
where I can actually utilize my soundboard.
Where we can make it intended satirically.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I don't have any more explanation other than it relates to the X. Dun dun dun. Sorry, Hook was a movie I always loved, but I also have a friend who is a lost boy in it. Doctor Who unites all. I fucking love Hook so much. Hook is my favorite Robin Williams movie.
I saw people get mad and not too long ago that Robin Williams was Peter Pan. I'm like, you shut the fuck up. Who the hell is Peter Pan?
Who got mad that Robin Williams was Peter Pan?
He's not young and sprightly enough. I'm like,
that was the whole point of Hook. Look, he was the old man now.
He's an adult and he remembered. You're doing it, Peter.
Yeah. So, like Dogma, that's more Silent Bob and was awesome in it. I do like Dogma. Dogma is a good movie.
It's a very good movie.
Awesome, Tom. The third one is my favorite of the trilogy. I cried so much at Poe's speech about being the best you can be. I'm both happy and annoyed they greenlit 3 more.
They greenlit 3 more? Good lord, I thought that was canceled after the third one. It didn't do that well.
Hook was good. I love Hook. Hook is my favorite Robin Williams movie. I really just want to watch it again. Like, I'm having that craving.
Do you want to watch it tonight?
I'm having that craving of watching Hook again. I don't know if I want to watch it again tonight because of the fact
we have to watch it around Christmas so we don't watch it tonight.
Exactly, because
it's Hook.
Because it's Hook, right? I have to. It's Hook. I was so glad that we've gotten what happened on so many of the 90s video game films. Films. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like... I like the idea of making... I don't know how you'd make a Mario movie. Because they've wanted to make one for years because it's fucking Mario.
I have no idea where they're going to go for the new trilogy. How do you go anywhere after the third one?
Poe starts taking on more students. It's the legend of... Someone tries to find Poe. And it's a little bit of tongue-in-cheek reference to Star Wars and how Luke went missing. And Poe's just like, no, man, I
fell asleep.
I fell asleep in this tree. And that's just like, you've been gone for a while, Poe. Oh, that's not good.
How long? Like 2 years. Ah, crap.
Oh, no, that's not good, man. You're Poe. You're the greatest teacher in all of China. I am? That's bad. Master Sifu's going to be so mad. And the kid's so disillusioned in Poe until he sees how Poe did it himself, right? And, it's all the weight of, what people see of you rather than who you are.
I'm hooked on that movie. Poe is incredibly relatable. I don't get why they ship him and Tigress, but I enjoy a good ship.
Shipper's gonna ship.
Shipper's gonna ship. Rufy! Oh!
Dante Bosco's a nice guy. I'm glad I met him.
You met Dante Bosco?
Yeah, I did.
When?
Con G, the last one.
Ah!
He was their guest of honor. So we were hanging out backstage, and he was just like, "Oh, you're Dante Bosco." Yeah, man, I am. I'm like, "Oh,
Rufio!"
Cool. Yeah, he's great. He's very polite. He's very much a gentleman. I was just like, "Oh, how have you been enjoying the convention?" "Oh, that was good,
I love how most people are like, "Yeah, he's Zuko from Avatar, and I'm still Rufio."
Did you have a crush on Rufio, honey?
Yes, I did. Dark skin was really fucking cool. What do you want from me?
love you.
Love you too. You know my type.
I know. What in word makes you think I'm comparable to Rufio? I'm not Rufio. Rufio was cool. I was never that cool.
You're cool.
I am not cool.
Guys, he's cool.
I'm not cool.
Julia Roberts was hot as Tinkerbell. Kill the lawyer. I'm not that kind of lawyer. So Idris Elba as Knuckles. That might be the most
Yeah, that was weird too.
Character development that Echidna has gotten since Sonic Adventure 2.
It's like, the second I heard Idris Elba, I'm like, Idris, not to say that, you know, any actor can't be a thing. You might be a little too much for this role. Well, and also now Knuckles is going to be canonically black forever. Not that that's a bad thing. It's just...
To be fair, it was the same thing when, you know, Patrick Stewart was the poop emoji.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
It was,
I liked the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
I do. It was really cool.
It was actually really not bad.
If I had to pick my least favorite Kung Fu Panda movie, it's the second one. It's good, but it's the weakest of the three. I like the villain from 2.
Oh, he's so good.
He's such a good villain.
It's Alan...
You are cool, Mike. I still want to just always be the next. No, Mike, you're the doctor. Mike is cool as green pepper shoved up my nose. What?
I think that's an insult. I will take it as such.
Elba played a good tragic villain for Star Trek Beyond.
You still have to watch Star Trek Beyond. You just don't want to watch it. You're quiet.
Mike is cool.
Mike is cool?
Yeah, you are. You're very cool.
I love you. You mad that I don't think I'm cool?
Yeah.
I'm not cool, babe. I'm not
cool.
I'm not cool like Rufio's cool.
To be fair, hon, if you were a lost boy,
I'd be the fat kid. I'm like, roll me down the hill! I will bring them to doom. Just kidding, Mike, sorry.
I want to talk about that emoji movie. I love that Poe was the exact opposite of the peacock. I know, it was great. I love the fucking villain in 2. He's so fucking good. Right?
It took them 3 animators to make him move, and it was a headache. But he looks so good. I hate this panda. I hate this panda. How is this panda still alive? What? What are you saying? You're too far away, panda. Love it. Fucking good.
Didn't it get a sequel greenlit? Yo, Thunderball was awesome.
I too.
It's really weird when Mike looks at other people that I go, oh yeah, I equate this to Mike, and he looks at me and he goes, what do you mean? I'm nothing like that. And I go, hello?
I do not have a team of homeless young men that I care.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Hang on.
Hang on.
Quiet now.
You're gonna be quiet now? Thudbutt? I think that's what his name was. Something like that. We don't talk about it. It never happened. Fun fact, the Hook movie was really supposed to be a musical. That's why the Neverland set looks the way it does. I love the way it looks. Fun. Man, now you got me wanting to rewatch the trilogy. To be fair, Rufio is a high bar. How do you feel about the Lord of the Rings movies? That's been hotly debated. Okay,
Wait, what? That's debated? Who the fuck is debating the Lord of the Rings movies? Maybe The Hobbit.
No, because, okay, this is why people are debating the Lord of the Rings movies.
There's
Because,
no
one, there is no Tom Bombadil in there.
Who
2,
gives a fuck? He does nothing! Fuck Tom Bombadil! I'm sick of hearing about Tom Bombadil.
2, the Eagles. Yes. Yes.
We've had this discussion.
Yes, I know.
We've had this discussion multiple times on this stream. I am sick of having this discussion. The Eagles are sentient. They would have stolen the ring from Frodo.
And
they
then,
would have seen the ring. They have a concept of greed. They would have thrown Frodo to the rocks, stolen the ring.
And then we would have had the fucking High King Nazgul
come and kill the
him.
Eagles. That's how that would have gone.
Or possess the Eagles, and now suddenly Sauron can fly.
That's how that would have gone. Okay?
Also, I found my favorite Depp movie, Sweeney Todd, so good. I don't like Sweeney Todd at all.
And 2, Tom Bombadil does nothing, and he means nothing, and I will die on this hill. God, I'm sick of hearing about Tom Bombadil. He lowers the pace. I have cut myself in the thumb. He has lowered the pace.
Go clean yourself.
It's okay. I have very thick skin. It didn't do anything. It's a small snip. He slows down the pace of the book. He adds nothing to the scene. The only point he makes is that good will ultimately triumph over evil, and he sucks. Author insert bullshit. I have a hot wife. Yes, I'm still mad.
I like the Lord of the Rings movies. Mostly because they insert Éowyn into it more than she actually is in the book. And
I need to talk in this tone now because Mike is really mad and I can hear it.
Because apparently I can't get mad about it now because you've already gotten mad about all the things that I'm mad about. So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Except the Tom Bombadil part, I actually like.
Also,
Tom
they fixed the fucking racism in that movie.
They do kinda, yeah, a little bit.
With the Eastenders, and they're just like, yo, they're just people.
Yeah, they're just people now.
They're just people from a different culture. That's it. They're not specifically Indian.
Anyway, so I like the Lord of the Rings movies because they add more Éowyn into it. Because, you know, I am named after... My middle name is named after Éowyn of Lord of the Rings. Yeah. I like Éowyn a lot. She's really cool. She gets a hot boyfriend, it's fine.
He's troubled and sad.
He's troubled and sad, and, you know...
A project. Isn't that the real thing women want?
Anyway, so what's the speculative fan fiction franchises would you like to get into the Animatrix Star Wars Visions treatment?
Oh!
Queen of Tolly.
Like Tom Bombadil. Fuck off.
Some people just prefer the books over the movies, or at least that the movies don't do the books justice. Okay, look, you're trying to take 6 books and squish them into 3 movies. We could easily have had 6 movies of these fucking movies,
or
right?
6 seasons of a miniseries.
Or 6 seasons of a miniseries. It could have actually gone that way.
But it would have sucked.
It would have been so long. Do you know how long it takes for them to walk
Game of Thrones!
It takes them to walk so long!
And you would have had all the open commentary about... Like, all the open commentary about what... everything.
The Eagles took down a dragon in the lore, so yeah. Ooh. Hey Tom, books are always better. D20 rant check this stream. Oh no, damn you, Rogers.
Huge poop in the middle of the book.
Some things just don't translate well from books into the visual screen. Right? Like, I don't think we need, like, 12 pages of Tolkien talking about a tree again.
If I hear one more time about the fucking Elvish lineage, I will stab someone if it's not interested. What?
I moved away because you have a knife.
I love you. I would never stab you with a knife.
Guess what Amazon is doing on a streaming series on it? Oh, hi, Tom Bombadil.
That series is gonna suck ass.
Love you. But yeah, I like the movies. I like the first 2 Hobbit movies. Those were good. Mostly because you're like, yes, we get to Smaug, and Smaug is cool. And then in the 3rd movie, they kill him in the first 10 minutes, and I was very disappointed. And I'm just like, I know that that's literally the only thing that literally could have happened, because that's what happens in the book. Because Smaug's not the big bad, it's everyone else. But you could have had a little bit more Smaug. It would have been better.
They literally stretched out that entire scene so fucking much. It was basically wafer thin at that point. And
I know.
You know it was.
Like,
do not play that game with me.
Well, no, the second part, in the second movie, they stretched it out way too much, because it was basically a Benny Hill sketch.
Yeah.
Where they're just running around.
Oh, you've seen that clip too? Yeah,
it's just they're running around outsmarting Smaug, and I'm like, he's a dragon, guys, a dragon, right? You could have had more of Smaug destroying the town and the blah blah blah. All that would have been really cool, because that's what Smaug actually fucking does in the book. But like either put all of Smaug into the second movie, or put all of Smaug into the 3rd movie.
You can't have Smaug not appear in the second movie when he's been foreshadowed this much.
I know, right? But then you just end the movie on Smaug wakes up and looks directly at Bilbo, and you're like, fuck! Right? And that's where you end the movie, right?
Well, you shouldn't have had 2 movies. 3 movies should have.
I know, it should have been 2 movies to begin with, because it's just Smaug. I wish I was kidding. Wow, I kicked the Hornets this session. Yep. Depends on if they do Baron and Luthien or not.
Oh, are we going to talk about the elves that fell in love? Or the elves that fell in love? Or the elves that fell in love?
Read an article about Peter Jackson trying to pitch Lord of the Rings to Harvey Weinstein. It was nightmarish. But if there's too much smog, then we can't see the screen anymore. I'm a fan of the Frankenbass version. I love the Frankenbass version. Guys, I will tell you how much... Sorry. I will tell you how much I love the Rankin-Bass version. Sorry. Because they wrote Frankenbass, so... Anyway, I love the Rankin-Bass version so much that the Rankin-Bass... The Hobbit Rankin-Bass soundtrack is going to be in the wedding.
Our wedding.
That's why I said the wedding.
Yeah,
right?
Clarifying.
Right, it's going to be in the wedding. And it's going to be great. Supposed to be only 2 movies. Smog the Gold-Plated. Which is why I'm not looking forward towards the Amazon's Lord of the Rings, because they just see that they've got their own Game of Thrones like what Netflix did to The Witcher, and I'm still mad. The Hobbit movies should have been a duology. Legolas and Gimli's bromance was the best part of the movies, to be fair. They were supposed to be. Sorry. It was originally meant to be 2 movies with a third about Gandalf, but then Del Toro dropped out.
Yeah, because the studio wanted something closer to the original trilogy. Del Toro wanted to take a new cinematic direction, and Jackson was caught in the middle with a contract. Del Toro dropped out, Jackson got the ball, and Jackson did what Jackson does best. That's what happened.
I like the Rankin-Bass version so much.
No, you do.
So good.
What are we at for time? 4:30? Almost? When there's a whip.
But Nimoy.
There's a way. When there's a whip. There's a way.
That's the Return of the King.
I know, we're just singing the song.
Like, that's not the Hobbit, that's the Return of the King. We don't want to go to war today. But the master of the lash says, nay, nay, nay. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. When there's a whip, there's a way. Left, right, left.
Also,
right.
the Rankin-Bass version of the Down Down to Goblin Town song is way better.
Well, yeah. The only song that was better in the Hobbit like live action movies is Misty Mountains.
Yeah.
Because that's really fucking good.
They're just like, this is a sad fucking dirge.
Not to mention the butchering of what happened to the Percy Jackson movie adaptations. Still want Del Toro at the Mountain of Madness. Oh no, typo.
I think they meant Mouth of Madness.
It's stuck in my head now. What is more polarizing, the Hobbit trilogy or the Star Wars sequel trilogy?
Star Wars.
The people, because the thing is that Star Wars, everybody's seen Star Wars, right? Not everybody's seen the original Rankin-Bass version of The Hobbit, so...
I do like both versions of Smaug.
Smog.
Smog. Smaug.
Smog.
Smaug.
Smog.
There's an A in there, it's Smaug.
It's Smog. August.
Different.
It's not different!
It's Smaug, the greatest acclimist of this age.
Smog! Toriyama wanted to do JoJo, but the fans and editors said no. Star Wars.
It's not even a question in my head. Star Wars is worse. It's so bad. Like, I can see people saying
there are more people butthurt about
Star Wars than people who enjoy Star Wars. It's just like, if someone said to me, I don't want to get into Star Wars because of the fandom, and I would say, I get it. But if you ever have the time or patience to do so, I will happily show you what's fun. And what's fun? I would say most of it, actually, you could enjoy.
What's in the thing?
What thing?
The metal thing.
The paint tray? I was using it for
it's the paint tray.
Yeah.
I thought there was water in there.
No, it's just paint tray. Oh.
Looks over at A24 production. Hey, you idiot, help Del Toro out. Look at all my empty screws.
You need a new kit. What do you want to build next, Sam?
I don't know.
Pick something on a Gunpla website and we'll build it. honestly think you'd fall in love with SD Gundams personally, but I do not know which SD Gundam to get you.
I feel like that's a little bit too much of a stereotype that I would fall in love with SD Gundams.
Because you're a girl?
Because I'm a girl, and every single fucking girl in every single Gundam show is like, oh, the SD Gundams! And I'm like...
No, actually, it's the bear guys, but you know.
Oh, and the bear guys, yeah, too. But still, it's just like... Well, no, because like it's either SD or bears.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like... But I like the Quans! And I like the new! And I like the Gal Geiger! Right? The Sidebuster, I actually love the design of. I just hate this kit. The high grade is actually really shit. Because this is being held together by hopes and dreams.
You want to transform?
No, I'm scared to. Because the thing is that there's only one joint between his torso and his hips. And if I move it, it will fall apart. It's being held together by hopes and dreams. I like Star Wars. That like what you like, but don't a duck about it.
I think they meant fuck.
I would also like to say Star Trek Into Darkness is very polarizing. Do you guys have a favorite console game or series? Persona?
Legacy of Kain.
Persona?
Legacy of Kain. I'm getting into the Yakuza franchise a lot, though.
Right?
Because
Like,
Yakuza 7's kind of becoming my jam.
I really love Persona. I have a lot of the Shin Megami Tensei games, but I haven't played them all.
I'm running the number 5 company in Yokohama.
Right? But like, But yeah, Persona is still like my console game series that I gravitate to. If Persona 3 ends up on Steam, I will buy it. There will be no discussion about it. It will just be bought.
What if I bought it for you?
Well, then that is also acceptable.
You know, like I bought you Persona 4.
Yes, I know.
Because Sam, I bought you Persona 4.
I know you did.
I bought you a Persona game.
You did.
Great. They beat you to a Persona purchase.
You did. Maybe I'm wrong, but the TMNT fandom seems like the chillest fandom. How long until an SD bear guy gets introduced?
It's the TMNT fandom now is super fucking chill because they don't have a movie in the works anymore.
Sam, let's be honest, you would probably fall in love with SD Gundam. Honestly, my biggest problem with the new Star Wars is Disney called the extended universe non-canon. I get it, but I just get it. It just doesn't mean I like it.
Well, yeah, but keep in mind too. Look how much fucking, oh god, what's his name? The guy behind all the good stuff in Star Wars. Fucking Rebels and everything, and Clone Wars. Fucking, I can't remember his name now. The Chosen One.
If the gunpla is holding like Sam says, then it's a grenade gunpla, right? Yeah, it kind of is. Sorry, Sam. I prefer the Shin Megami Tensei games to Persona. That's fine, Tonberry.
I know Blood Omen 1 is on GOG with the rest of the Legacy of Kain. I just have to get
I have no like. I like Shin Megami Tensei. Like, there's nothing wrong with the series in general, right? I just personally I like the Persona games because they all have happy endings, right? Whereas Shin Megami Tensei, you have the choice between angels, demons, or this weird middle ground that I don't know how to get to. Right? It's like so obscure and how to get to this middle ground, and I'm like, can I not kill every human in all of existence, please? No, you only have choice of kill all human in existence or become demon and kill all human in existence. And I'm like, please?
Apparently that's been a thing since the first one.
I know. It's literally every Shin Megami Tensei game. Except Persona, right? But
Persona is more about, life, the universe, and shit.
At any rate, right? That's just my thing about Shin Megami Tensei. The biggest challenge to the Mountains of Madness is Lovecraft himself. He is pretty much not person non grata in modern fantasy sci-fi circles. Mike, Blood Omen 1 is now on GOG with the rest of Legacy of Kain. I hope the Yakuza games get ported to Switch physically. I'm into Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and Dragon Age games. I love Mass Effect.
Dave Filoni, yeah. Yeah, Dave, here's the thing. And Dave, I love that Dave Filoni is the guy Disney says, yeah, no, the extended universe is canon. And Dave Filoni goes, he's just, because everyone keeps asking Dave, what's canon? And Dave had the best answer. He said, look, stop thinking of Star Wars as a fixed timeline. Start thinking about it as legends that are being told. if you think about it that way, it doesn't matter anymore, and you just enjoy that they're there. As he tucks in more stuff from the old legends anyway.
I really like Mass Effect. Okay, I finished Persona, and I'm like, oh man, that was a great game. And then I'm like, I have to take a break because of the fact that because Persona is like, it's such a big game that you're kind of
decide to take a break.
You just have to take a break after a while because, right? It's just there's so much game in the game, right? And then you play Mass Effect, and it's like, what do I do with my life now? I don't know what to do with my life now. I've spent so much time playing Mass Effect that, oh god, there's so much shit I have to do now for other things. Right?
You're playing 2 Point Hospital a lot.
Yeah, because I like a non-stressful game, and 2 Point Hospital is just one of those things of, if something happens in it, it's nothing to restart again, and I'm like, oh no, I restarted it all over again. Ooh. Last time I looked, they took it off for a while. Really disappointed that Ninja Gaiden games were digital only. I prefer physical for shelving purposes. SD Gundam had good ideas, execution was meh, but good ideas. Yeah, I'm dark as fuck. It's okay, Tomberry. Still love you. Also, its Mountains Madness would be torn apart for non-inclusiveness it faithfully adapted as Del Toro wanted it to do. I'd argue that Persona 3 is more bittersweet than happy. It is, because, you know... The ending, right? But I like Persona 3 Portable because then I get to pretend that there's a happily ever after. But whatever. Then you have Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse, which has all of that on top of selfish endings. Yeah, I know. Dave Filoni again. Personally, I'm sick of main characters getting screwed over. Yeah. I'm a fan of Mass Effect as well, Sam. Are you even into Mass Effect 2 yet on stream? No! We're getting that. We were literally about to do Vermeer, but nobody's voted for Mass Effect again, and now we're into October, so
which is Spook Month.
Which is Spook Month, and we have to finish Silent Hill 2. Because I said I will finish Silent Hill 2, the entirety of the game, in October. That is what I will do, and I am sticking to that because Silent Hill 2.
I believe in Sam.
Mike is getting so pissed off. For those of you who don't watch the Optimal Duo, Mike's getting real pissed off at Silent Hill 2. He's so mad.
This game is stupid.
Anyone
Your
else?
head doesn't do anything. Like, hey, I'm here.
Well, I shot him a bunch of times.
That's so good.
You don't like the fact that, like,
he doesn't do nothing!
He moved so slow and couldn't hit me.
Gang bang the doll. Ooh, spooky.
Anyone else besides me want another Persona fighting game? No, I don't. I don't like the Persona fighting games. Persona has a lot of talking in it already. The Persona fighting games have infinitely more talking, and I don't like it at all. So how about a new Zork game? It's been years. It's been 24 years. Must finish Spooktober. Exactly. But now, Silent Hill 2, where Mike rages. Hey, listen.
I almost got blackout mad last Thursday.
You were really upset.
I was so upset.
Like, you were really upset about Silent Hill 2.
It's not good.
It is the best Silent Hill game.
That's not a good promise. It's I keep hearing, yeah, but it's the best one. When? And all I heard was...
For atmosphere.
And all I heard was, well, it gets better after this point. No, it doesn't. And then you kept moving the bar further and further out.
No, it does get better.
Oh, did you want to use the green metallic paint for the jewels?
I already put the stickers on, it's fine.
Okay. Stop for.
I know, I appreciate it though. But Mike don't declare a vendetta against Silent Hill. Thanks, Byron. I like the story of the fighting games. I like the characters of the fighting games, right? Because the added characters into the fighting games I really do enjoy, right? But it took me like 12 hours to finish the fighting game for like one section of it, and I was like, I'm dying.
From the fighting game more.
Silent Hill 2 and Lava are Mike's video games kryptonite. The first Silent Hill was the best. I liked the empty town with the radio. I can't play the first Silent Hill game again just because of the fact that it... Okay, Silent Hill 2's gameplay is jank. Silent Hill 1's gameplay is like piloting a brick through water. Right? And you have maybe a fan to help propel yourself. right? It's frustrating. And the graphics fight against you. I'm convinced the reason the old expanding universe was decanonized is because they needed to get rid of the Yuzong Vong.
I get that, but here's my head theory about the expanded universe getting rid of it. It's a really easy way to get around paying your writers when you take their ideas.
Also, more Naruto is always great. James Sutherland, I shall kill you with this plank, even though I picked up a chainsaw earlier in the game. Ah, yeah, the plank. No game. No, the game that shall not be named is. They figured they need to get rid of most of it. They want to get rid of the Yuzong Wong. I don't know. I'm used to the PS1, PS2 jank. I just like being able to control cameras. That's it. Right? I have such a hard time with Persona 1 and 2 that, like, for just gameplay purposes, because, like, you can't control the camera. I think in 3 you can control it a little bit, and that's why I'm like, okay, 3 is, like, the best one gameplay-wise, and then 4 is the one where it's just, like, I don't know what happened in it. It just happened, right? Ian, but why, though? Most survival horror games are meant to be frustrating. Next on D20 Live, Puff snaps Silent Hill 2 out of existence, or the party is forced to visit it to retrieve a MacGuffin and kill the protag.
Don't tempt me.
Yeah, go to the bathroom. Great job on these, Sam. Thank you, Tip. Yeah, what Tip is showing on the Twitch side, those are the emotes that I put up for Twitch. On the Optimal Duo, because on the Optimal Duo we are actually affiliate. We could technically go affiliate for D20 Live, except for the fact that
We
literally in the agreement for the affiliate, it's like, hey, you can't become affiliate if you multi-stream. I know there are people out there who do it anyway, but we're just gonna be like, nah, it's okay, fam.
Yeah. So until our if you guys ever completely migrate over to Twitch, we won't become affiliates on Twitch.
Yeah. Right, because the idea right now is that because there are people who are still enjoying it on YouTube and there are still people who are enjoying it on Twitch, we're not going to go full one way or the other.
Yeah.
So it's fine. We were also trying to figure out if we should become monetized for D20 Live on YouTube because of the fact that we found out that the algorithm changed again, and that if you're not monetized, they kind of subdue your UCAN and stuff, which is why probably like our YouTube stuff has not been like if you look in our feed, there is nothing here from YouTube. It sucks. Right, like we get one like maybe like once every 3 months or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, so
it's not great.
It's not great, but at any rate, I'm not sure. It's just a great feeling I got fair. Man, the camera is the entire reason I gave up playing the first Devil May Cry game. The first level is the camera. Yeah. Mixed with changes they wanted to do post-Endor history. Mike is going to hate me for this, but I love the Vong storyline.
I don't care. I never read the Use of Vong storyline. I don't hate the Use of Vong storyline because it was an attempt at doing something new. Whether or not it failed is another matter entirely, right? And a subject for debate to history. What I hated about the Use of Vong storyline is the fact that we went to Jason being evil, Jason Solo, and I fucking hate that storyline. Because this fucking constant cycle of, look at my guns! That's not the cycle, but look at my guns.
I'm getting killed by things that I literally can't see between the shadows and the camera. Temps Mike, just to send the Death Watch crew to give James Sutherland the Driz treatment.
God, I forgot to do another Death Watch game.
DMC1 wasn't great. Yeah, Mike and I we were trying to play Devil May Cry 1.
Yeah.
And unfortunately
it's not great.
The difficulty curve went real like wall.
Real fast.
And we're like, shit, what do we do now? So
like, I tried 2, and 2 was actually kind of playable.
Because, like, what? Did we get stuck at Virgil?
Yeah, his name is Nello Angelo, but yeah.
Virgil.
Yes, it's Virgil.
It's Virgil.
It's Virgil in the...
We all know it's Virgil!
Love you.
If you think the bad guy isn't Virgil, it's Virgil! They did that to Alan Dean Foster after buying Fox. They tried not to pay him for any of his Alien and Star Wars books. He did, saying the deal was only with Fox while his wife was battling cancer. That sucks.
Yeah. That's my big thing about knowing the expanded universe. Not the loss of things not being canon, because they'll get filtered back in. It's of writers potentially not getting paid because suddenly they're saying, we're not using your works anymore. And they are.
I like going back and watching the streams while I'm working, so you guys watch... so I watch you guys on YouTube.
Well, you can watch us on YouTube after. That we'll always upload VODs after.
The thing is never going to be... Because during the streams, you guys like watching it on YouTube as well, on streams, right?
Yeah, because you'll go back to the beginning on YouTube of the stream and you'll watch forward. That's a function that only YouTube has.
Still better than 2 and DMC story-wise anyway. DMC 1's camera also makes it borderline impossible for me to judge my weapons range. So, but yeah, the idea is that because of the fact that you guys like watching the stream on Twitch and on YouTube, right, as it's live, right, that's the thing, right, that people like about the streams. Are you done, by the way?
I'm done those. I'm resting my leg for half a second.
Okay, well, I'll switch it back to 1 because.
Oh, should I stop for the night?
No. I'm gonna switch it back to 1 because, well, to be fair, it's 15 minutes.
Yeah, I could stop for the night.
And we can just talk.
Okay, that's nice.
Right. So that's.
I am not done. I have more gun.
So, but that's the thing, right? It's just you guys like watching it on YouTube and Twitch during the stream, right? For it to be live, because that's the fun part of it. Otherwise, we would go one way or the other, right? But since it's not happening that way, we're just not going to do it.
Unlike a vast majority of other actual play streamers out there, we listen to what our fans want.
Bring the heavy bolters and flamers, brothers. We must purge the heresy of James Sutherland. Only way to ensure a hit with anyone is to be right in their face. When you guys write fan fiction, do you use OC characters to interact with the originals, or do you just keep the originals?
I don't write fan fiction anymore. It's called D20 Live. So yes, I use OCs. But they're not my OCs. D20 Live is my fan fiction, and I will die on that hill.
Yes. It depends on the fan fiction you're writing.
I will argue that D20 Live was me writing fan fiction so well it was able to pay for itself.
Laters. No, we're not ending yet. We got another.
I'm just putting stuff away.
We got a little bit. Oh, like DC making new versions of characters but calling them derivatives to deny royalties to writers and artists.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's bullshit. It's a very cheap, very old trick. And it's why I got pissed at when Wizards did this and they said, all of our old stuff's not canon anymore. We don't rely about it. I'm like, oh, you don't want to pay the old writers for the old modules anymore when you inevitably rip them off. Because you're assholes. Right? But no one wants to say that because no one wants to pull the trigger. I'll say it.
So thoughts on Path Starfinder Infinite?
I don't know. There's a bunch of nuanced debate about it because some people have said, look, if you there are so many conditions on the Infinite. It's the same conditions as on DM's Guild. If you want to work with their canon, if you want to do something original, do it on Drive-Thru-RPG. Even though, do it on Drive-Thru-RPG because then you can make your own OC stuff and all that stuff. If you want to work within their lore and potentially move up, then you would do it on Infinite. But there's arguments of, oh, but you'll be under all these restrictions creatively, and how can you function with these kind of restrictions, and da-da-da-da-da. I am trying to make something for Path Starfinder Infinite. I want to do a couple levels of a dwarf fortress in deep space that jettisoned off, and I have an idea for that that I'm just tooling around with on the side.
Who's your self-insert, Mike?
Which one?
Which one? Your fanfiction is so good it comes to life, right, Mike?
Yeah. I do fanfics that you see almost exclusively. My self-insert is Puff. By virtue of the fact that I brought Puff back to life. And made him God.
You did. I think you did that to say, fuck you, Spoonie.
I did. I did. It wasn't the main goal. I honestly did it because the reveal that it was Puff was so fucking worth it. Mm-hmm. That was legitimately a reason. If you had all booed that, I would have walked that back very quickly. But I'm not going to lie, a small part of it was saying, Spoonie, fuck you. Although the thing was, I didn't walk back Puff being dead.
No.
I made the big quest bringing Puff back to life.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. I didn't undo it. Nothing that happened in 2012 didn't happen or anything like that. It's just like, no, we're not reversing it. It's a no, we got to do this because there's something worse happening. That's how you walk something back without making it feel like you walked it back. You want me to scroll down?
Yeah.
It's my turn now. That's why I hold the rights to dead settings and deny them new life costs Mistar. Yeah. You're a magic dragon, so did Puff ever get payback on the Bard? There is a cutscene from the end of the module that was going to happen where Puff sat down on his chair, looked at the gauntlet and said, what do I do first? Wait, I know. Goes back in time to the night after they killed him when they're in the bar and stop time and kick them all in the nuts and say, fuck you guys, and leave. That was going to be the closing thing, but the Vecna thing was more important. But yeah, in my head, canon, which is technically canon, Puff, the first thing Puff did was stop time, go back and kick all of the players in the nuts for killing him. Because fuck those guys. He hates those guys so much.
You don't kill your dragons.
It's like, I fucking hate those guys so much. So someone didn't hear about Spelljammer might be coming back soon. I did not hear that. But I've heard might be coming back soon on a lot of shit that Wizards owns rights to, and I don't really need to hear the whole it's coming back and we get one book, and that's it. It's what they do. They don't care anymore. Wizards is not going to do another huge product line like Paizo does ever again. We're never going to get a module chain of like stuff. We're going to get 2 books, and that's going to be it. Fucking hell, Beal and Grimm does that better than Wizards does. Still a little myth about Ravenloft. That's fair. So Multiverse Theory is basically Puff's cable package at this point. Yeah. Well, it's not. It's its own thing. It's just it's how Puff chooses to interact with it. He's very fucking entertained by everything that's going on. So he doesn't meddle unless people give him a really good reason to, because he's just around him. He's got absolute power. You don't know what he does on his downtime to relax. You just right. You only see Puff when he lets you see him and see what he wants, right? So to Puff, you don't know what Puff is doing on a day-to-day basis. He's in theory enjoying everything literally existence has to offer. And then he comes out and he's presentable, and he has literally all the time in the universe to be presentable. Oh, that sounds like a challenge of champions.
Well, have you ever used Dr. Terawatt's setup when you run games, the one that tracks where the characters are? Oh, you mean Roll20?
In Roll20 and shit? I'm not planning to.
We use Roll20 for dice rolls.
Yeah, because we focus on the players' faces.
The reason why we don't have like the maps and stuff is because one, money, and two, it's a lot for me to try and draw in a really short period of time.
And I can't draw.
And Mike can't draw. And three, like
we're gonna slowly start incorporating soundboards and stuff.
There's a lot to do with I know there's a lot of free stuff that you can grab.
And we're still developing our resource support. But the difference is it's a little, not a lot, but a little easier for Doc, because there's so much 5e free map content. Yeah. It's not funny. And I touch so much different shit. Comparatively, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Some systems don't require, they don't have a run distance, right?
Yeah.
So, like Pendragon, there's zero thing that you could do. It's so much easier just to say there are 5 guys on the field and there are 4 of you, right? And but in the meanwhile, there's 20 other guys around you, right? Because the whole point is it's warfare and the individual battles that you have in those fights, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's a lot easier to say there's just 5 guys around you, but imagine yourself in the middle of a battlefield, right?
I would slowly like to, with select games that do well, start cycling up to a stuff. We're definitely going to be using more soundboard effects.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Sun, Roll20. It hates me the site does. You go back to gaming in person instead of just doing it online. We do too. That is not our decision, though. We just have to compensate by giving the best content we can.
Yeah, like right now, literally the only thing that's preventing us from going back to in-person gaming is safety, because of COVID, unfortunately. Because not everybody has a car. Yeah. Not everybody can get to where we are. Not everybody wants to come to where we are because of the current living situation. Just because of the fact that they don't want to endanger the landlady. Right? They don't want to endanger anybody else. Right? It's just one of those things of it's not up to us. It has to be an entire group decision about what we're trying to do. And the group decision up to this point is that we will be going through. We're just going to keep going with 2021 online. We will be online exclusive until the end of 2021. We will revisit it at the end of 2020. See how things are. Yeah. That is just the conclusion on that. Safety is the most important thing. Yeah. The pandemic has brought me nothing but grief. A lot of us, it's brought nothing. But I got some. Yeah, we're making one good thing. A couple of good things. Lots of good things. Right, but like the idea is that we're just gonna try and keep as is for now. We will probably still keep some games to be remote because of the fact that we have Byron and Tom who don't live in Ontario at all. Yep. And it'll be easier in order to get guests outside of Ontario as well. Yep. So, or even just guests in general, right? Because like it's infinitely easier to ask Arcada to get on the computer and stream for a couple hours rather than drive all the way over here, like 2 hours out of his way, and then drive all the way back. Yep. I hope you guys are doing okay in all this. We're fine. Is there an official rundown of the current D20 Live cast and crew? You mean in terms of who's in it? The only people who have ever left D20 Live are Tyler and Scott. Both for their own personal reasons, in terms of their life. Everyone else has remained. Yeah, over 9 years. Yeah, so if you guys like everybody who's ever really played a game consistently, is here. Except for like literally, okay, because the people who are officially part of the D20 Live crew are you and me. Jordan, Devin, Tom, Dave, Nicole, Dom, Beth, Cassie, Doc, and Byron and Tom. Yeah. Those are all the people. Yeah. Those are the official crews. Yeah, everyone is well. Everyone is doing good. We are constantly messaging each other in the Facebook shitpost thread. Yeah. So everybody is doing okay. We're all just making sure, because I mentioned I put Thaco into 5th edition. Otaku Cat, you're so much fun. So, but yeah, no, like we're just trying to maintain status quo at this point. Yeah. We will be, the big thing we're thinking about for in person is going to be the charity stream for next year. We're going to try and make that happen. We're going to try and make that happen to be in person. But we'll see what logistically works, because of course we don't make it in person. We have a wider range of guests that we have access to. Certainly some people would have to be on site to help this time around. Even though we did make it remotely work, our private games over Discord and Bedwans have kept me sane during all this. Yeah. Yeah. Like the whole thing is that we're still all friends, and we're still all trying to make everything happen and stay together. Yeah. Like the whole crew's going to be at our wedding. That's not an exception. Everyone's coming to our wedding. Yeah. There will be probably one photo on social of all of us together, just going. Should bring the for the wedding. Yelled at by my mom.
Yeah,
So
I'm not telling.
Any idea what the next legacy system will be? We know
I know
exactly what it is.
We do?
You do.
Oh, you've got that look. You're in the. I know you haven't said definitively you want it yet, honey, but
I know exactly what it is.
What do you think it is?
I'm not telling you on the stream. No, because we're about to end it.
Just whisper in my ear.
It's 5 o'clock. We're gonna
Whisper in my ear!
We'll do it later.
Fine. So we will be back next week with Sam's vampire game, and then D20 Live is going on hiatus for the month of November.
Because we're getting married.
Sam and I are getting married for the month of November. There will probably be an announcement video at the top of November, just done really quickly, just to say that.
Mm-hmm.
And to thank everyone for their continued thing. We will not be halting the Patreon for the month of November because of the fact that the L5R episode for that month will be coming out.
The only thing that is still going up is L5R.
And the audio for that episode. But the for those of you who are at the $20 tier for the audio, we will be doing bonus audio. We'll be doing best of audio for that month in a big compilation.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe we'll be doing all of L5R up to this point, all of Doc's game, and probably all of the Tribe.
Yeah.
Will probably go up as audio. Good to hear I'm currently playing a Commandroids game on Discord, which has made me digging into Japanese corporations. Married. Congrats on the marriage. It's coming. I don't know if we'll be doing Optimal Duo as much either.
We'll be probably doing Optimal Duo for the first week of November, and then
we'll stop.
And then, like, hey, hang on. Let me just double check so that way I'm not going too crazy. We'll probably do, first weekend of November for Optimal Duo. We are taking a break the next 2 weeks after that, and then the rest of
November we're back.
The rest of November we're back.
Yeah.
So for 2 weeks in November, we're just not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Because we need those 2 weeks.
Yeah. Just to focus on ourselves.
Just to focus on us. Congrats on the marriage, Nosferatu and marriage.
Nosferatu and Nauticus are getting married. I feel like that's a marriage for financial reasons.
Hang on,
It's a financial marriage. It's not like a real marriage. It's like we got married to dodge taxes.
It's more Glory Greatest customs agent.
Oh yeah.
And Nauticus getting married.
You've not used that voice in ages.
Glory Greatest customs agent. I haven't had a need to use Glory Greatest customs agent. That's the problem.
Honeymoon. We are not going to go on our honeymoon proper. We are taking a few days away.
Because what happens is our plan is to eventually, for our honeymoon, go to Japan. However, Japan right now closed.
You don't go. You just don't go.
It's closed. You just don't go there. We're not going, right? But that eventually we will go to Japan when everything is not on fire. But right now we're just gonna go away and we're gonna have some time to actually be husband and wife before we come back and be us normally.
Yeah.
Hope you guys have a fantastic wedding. Tomberry will probably tell you all about it. I need insurance.
You have it. Marry me. I love you.
Love you too.
All right, it's time for us to go.
Yeah.
You all have a good night. You stay home. You stay safe. And as always, you stay kind. We will see you next week for Sam's Vampire Game, followed by L5R Episode 5.
Yes.
Good night, everybody.
No.